2 minutes, we'll go live. Join us, paulgough.com/solid if you are on Instagram. We're now live on Facebook. We're live on Instagram. And you can watch my brand new webinar live. Come and see it. All right, so we are almost ready to go live. All right. Participants, there's everybody. All right, everybody. Hello. Can you see me? Type into the chat if you are there. Let's get started with the live training. We are, this is a technological miracle today. We are beaming all over the world. Cam, do you want to switch your cameras off, guys, please, at the top? That would be fantastic. Hello, everybody. What's going on? Nice to see you. Type into the chat if you are one of our attendees. We're expecting a full house today. I think we had 172 people registered for this webinar today, so we will be slammed at 100. Can you see me? And can you hear me? On Instagram, I've got people, you guys can say hello. I've got video streaming to Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. I'm live on Facebook as well, and I'm beaming all across the world. Hopefully, I'm in homes all around the world today. I'm definitely across the United States of America. Come on in and tell me where you're from. I'm definitely in the United Kingdom, and I'm definitely in places like Australia and New Zealand as well. So type into the chat. Let me know that you're there and that you can see me. Say hello when you come in. Sarah is there to say hello as well. Welcome, everybody. Can you hear me? Can you see me? That would be cool if somebody could start to type into the chat. I could see Ashley, Becky, Beth, Craig, Danelle, David Friedland. Nice to see you. Could somebody type into the chat so that I know that I'm not talking to myself and that this is the right place that I need to be in? Somebody in my team might need to come in and help me here, because am I looking in the wrong place when it comes to chats? I can't see anybody talking to me at all at this point. Is there a problem? Hi, everybody, can hear and see you. Attendees, can somebody in the attendees just give me a sign in the chat, please? I need a lot of audience interaction today. Q&A. Oh, there we go. Q&A. Is chat disabled for some reason, guys? Can somebody look in my thing? So there we go. Little glitch. Can we just solve that one, please, team? Chat is disabled. We're in Q&A, but I'd rather be in chat. How do we get that set up, please, guys? Sarah, if anybody could disable annotations. What do I do here? How do we get the chat set up? Can Sarah or somebody on my team just give me a little nudge that that's been looked at and what we need to do to change that? The audience participation is absolutely vital. So guys, just give us a moment. Are we good? Are we dealing with it? Looks like we're good. You can still use the Q&A at this point as well. I can see Craig Campbell. Jen, nice to see you. Esther, Stan, David, Marjorie, everybody's telling me chat's disabled. We're in the Q&A section, so that is fine. Keep talking to me in the chat. Tell me that everything in the Q&A, tell me everything's good. What's happening, Stan? Nice to see you. Craig, what's going on? What's good? Well, we're in Florida. Everything is good in Florida. The sun shines constantly. Sarah, I can see your camera's on as well if you want to switch that off. It looks like we're trying to get this chat enabled. Type into the Q&A so that I can see you. I still think you can talk to me. Jordan is here. Where are you from, Jordan? What's going on? Sam, where are you from? Can you talk to me in the Q&A section? Give me 1 second and I'm going to come back in when this Q&A, I'm going to go and fix it. I might have to log in and do something. We can see and hear you from Foothouse Limited, Folkestone, Kent. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to come back in. I think I might need to log out and come back in just to get this chat working. Beth, nice to see you in Los Angeles. John at Resilient. John Catamol, nice to see you in Phoenix. It was lovely to talk to you last week. Portsmouth, but Darlington originally. Wow, that's a familiar name. Darlington Football Club was where I started my physio career back in the day with George Reynolds. I don't know if you were around then. Samper. Mike is in New York. I can see Mike Fucci. Nice to see you. Craig Campbell is in Ohio. Jordan is in Louisiana. Who else have I got? Type into the chat. Where else are you from? So we've got England. We've got Paul Hendricks is in from Texas, from Austin. What else? St. Louis. I can see Marjorie in St. Louis, which is fantastic. I had a wonderful experience in St. Louis. Many times I've been to the Arch down there. I've been to watch the baseball, and the Union Station Hotel was the first ever hotel I stayed at in St. Louis, which was pretty cool. I've got Lynn from Wisconsin. Nice to see you. Jen and Tyra from New Orleans. Hello to you guys. Lynn from Wisconsin. Great to see you. Holly's in the UK. Hello, Holly. Nice to see you. Whereabouts in the UK? New Orleans, Wisconsin. Tacoma from Utah. One of my favorite places to ski, Park City over there in Utah. It's lovely just to see where everybody is. And it's so cool for everybody to realize you're part of something much bigger. You're something much bigger than just a training, if you like. This is a global seminar that you're part of right now, and we're going to get into it very, very shortly. I'm just going to give the team another minute or so to fix the chat, because I do love to have some interactions and fun as we move on. Give me literally 30 seconds, and I'm going to come back to you. Are we there? there is a tech glitch. We've been on the live chat there with Zoom. There's a tech glitch in the chat for whatever reason. We're not going to be able to get it accessed today. So just give me a sign that everybody knows where the Q&A is. I think we can still talk together in the Q&A. And again, anybody who's been on my webinars, you'll know I'm very interactive. I try to talk to you as much as I can. So just give me a sign that we're good in the Q&A section. Can everybody get that? Yep. Craig's got it. So everybody who's listening to this, we're going to do all of the interactions in the Q&A. We're unable to turn cameras on. Who's not able to turn camera on, Paul? I'm not sure what that means. Oh, you're not allowed to turn cameras on. Yeah, because it's a webinar. It's a different thing. I think we can only see our own Q&A. I can't see other people's, but I can't see other people's comments. Right. Okay. We've got something that's better than nothing. That's cool. We've got something that's better than nothing. Do you know, in a good way, it'll be quite cool because we'll keep it quite private. That's quite cool. So I can see everybody's chat. You can't see each other's, but I can see yours. So that's fine. That's what we've got, and that's what we're going to have to deal with until we get a fix from Zoom. So at this point, we're good. We're going to get into the training. If you are on Facebook, if you're on LinkedIn, everything, thanks for your patience. Just keep nudging. I'll keep reminding you that we're in the Q&A for the next couple of hours. So you can ask me questions and I will respond to you. And it's pretty cool, really, because it means I can see whatever you're asking me is pretty private. So we can have some fun together and you can be quite open. And there are some pretty big questions that I'm going to be asking you as we go through it. So welcome. Let's get this thing officially started. We're almost at 100, which is pretty cool. We're going to go for about 2 hours together. It's Saturday here in Florida. It's beautiful. The weather's nearly 70 degrees. I forget that there is a winter going on around the rest of the world, but here it's beautiful, and I've had a wonderful start to the day. My kids play basketball every Saturday morning. I've got 4 boys, so as you can imagine, I'm there for quite a while. Put it that way. Everybody seems to leave after 45 minutes, and me and Natalie are still there around about 3 hours later. So it's been a wonderful start to the day. Tell me about your day. How's it started? Type into the Q&A. Tell me about your day. What have you been up to so far? And I sincerely appreciate that you are on this training with me today. I appreciate that you've got many things that you could be doing, but you find the big reason to spend it with me. So what is it? What is it about this training that you want? Type into the chat and tell me what you're looking for. Tell me about your business. I know where you're from, so tell me a little bit about your business model. What have we got? Have we got insurance businesses? Have we got cash businesses? Have we got fledgling businesses just getting started? Tell me what we've got. Type into the chat so I can get some context as the day goes on. The more I know about your business, whether or not you are fully cash. So Jen is a cash PT just getting started. Okay, keep going. Give me an idea of where you are and what you're doing. Insurance business, fed up to the back teeth of denials and reclaims and reimbursements dropping and all of that type of stuff. Marjorie is looking to have a strategy for marketing and create easy, automated, and consistent referral sources. We are cash, Medicare, and out of network. Outside of the box thinking, says Sylvestre. Where are you from? New ideas. Hybrid and wants to go cash in the next 6 months, says Paul Hendricks. Cash-based Cairo, 3 years in and loving it. Love it, Mike. Cash out of network, says Danelle. Trying to find ways to pivot. Completely new business in the UK, not wanting to go down the insurance route, says Esther. Wonderful. Do not go down that hellhole with Bupa and Speak Medical and all of those guys. Holly is a sports therapist, been doing it for the last 3 years, just in the process of buying my own building. Cash-based athletic trainers. Cash-based started over a year ago as Craig. Need to get marketing going to get more people in the door. Cash, 17th year. Chiro and rehab exercises. So we're getting a feel for it. Some early businesses. Lots of established cash-based businesses, and some insurance businesses that are, by the looks of it, fed up to the back teeth. Elliot Cleveland, we're an out-of-network clinic in South Carolina. We started in September of 24. Great to see you again, Elliot. So there's some familiar faces. Let me ask you this. Who's a Paul Virgin? Who is a Paul Virgin, right? And what I mean by that is Marjorie says she's a Paul Virgin. Okay. I've got a few virgins on this seminar today, which is good. My marketing's working. We've got a few exclamation marks. Me, not sure whether I read behind the lines there. Holly says me. Jim says me as well. Tell me about your story to find me. Did I find you or did you find me? Did I go searching for you on a Facebook ad or did you find me through a book or a podcast or a YouTube video, a referral maybe, social media? How did you find out about me? Just give me some context, and then we're going to get into the presentation. I have put this together for you. I've spent all week on it, but really I've spent decades on it. And what I like to do is just bring everybody together, maybe 3 or 4 times a year, and just share with you what's working, what's happening, what are the people that I'm working with around the world, What are they doing that you might not be? There might be 2 or 3 things on here that you're doing, right? That's the reality. But it doesn't mean that you're doing them really, really well. And it doesn't mean that we can't do them better. But it also, for most of you, probably means that there's 2 or 3 things that when we really nail them and when we really focus on what they are, could make a real difference to the quality of your life and the growth of your business. And that's what it's about. We've got David as Foothouse as a high street private podiatry clinic in Folkestone. Ken since 1999. I'm glad about the timing of the seminars, hoping it will prevent me from going down inefficient and costly marketing routes. Love it. Esther says I came up on her Instagram feed. Marjorie says Facebook ads. It's amazing how much skepticism there is around Facebook ads. We're on a call. I'm about to get started, right? And here I go. For those of you who are new, expect a lot of energy as this seminar goes. I've got my hydrate and I've got my AG1s and all sorts. I'm going to be on fire as this seminar goes. And I just get warmed up a little bit with this story. We had a conversation this week with the clinic owner from England who was very skeptical about Facebook ads, that we would be able to help him with Facebook ads. And he said, quote, "Nobody does anything from seeing a Facebook ad." And we had to remind the guy that he booked a call from us direct from Facebook. But apparently nobody does anything from Facebook these days. And that's something that we've got to get past, where we have a bias for what we believe works and what doesn't, which is often very different from what does work. And trust me, Facebook is a phenomenal tool for you if you're trying to grow and scale. As the seminar goes on, I've got 2 distinct groups of people I suspect I'm talking to. And I've built these slides days and days ago, so I'm not going to make this up today based upon what I'm seeing in the chat here. There's usually 2 distinct groups. The second group needs to know more about Facebook ads because you probably want to scale. The first group maybe needs to know a little bit more about how to use Facebook socially, organically, for free to get leads and to get people come through the door. So I've got both of you covered today, but you should never be discounting the power of Facebook ads. Right now for a business, and certainly for the last 2 or 3 years, it's been one of the most powerful tools to get people in the doors. So, right, lovely to have you. Thank you. I appreciate you. We're going to have some fun. I'm going to play full out. I'm going to have some fun. I'll give you some stories. I've got some tactics for you. I've got some strategies. We've got some really cool things to share with you for the next couple of hours. So 7, maybe more, winning strategies to make more in the next 90 days than you did in all of 2024. So who is it for? Who is this for? It's for you if you're just getting started with a Cash PT clinic and want to know how to grow it fast. It's for you if you've been in Cash PT for 2 years, but profits have flatlined and you can't scale past yourself. Traditional insurance business owner struggling with margin or low margin insurance, ready to move over to cash pay. And it's for any PT clinic owner who's ambitious, hungry, and genuine. This is the key, genuine in their aspiration to make more money in the next 12 months. Do any of those resonate with any of you guys? Just getting started with your Cash PT clinic, want to know how to grow it fast. Being in business for about 2 years, but profits are flatlined. You've done okay, but you now are ready to jump. Traditional insurance business, struggling with low margin insurance, ready to just move across safely over to the cash pay game. And any PT clinic owner who is ambitious, hungry, and genuine in their ambition, doesn't just speak ambition, actually wants to do it. But the fact that people are here on a Saturday afternoon usually is a good scenario, is a good indicator that people are genuinely ambitious. It's amazing how many people say that they want to be successful. You offer them a free training on a Saturday afternoon, and they'll come up with some excuse as to why they can't join it, because they're out shopping, or they're in they're in a place spending money that they haven't got, and then they'll come back to work on a Monday morning and tell you that business is bad and nobody wants to spend money with them and leads are not coming in and like people are dropping off schedule, and yet they had an opportunity to fix it. And that's what we're going to do today. This is the big one I want you to wrap your head around, and I'm going to come to this. We're going to come to this in a minute. So Esther's just asked in the chat, when you say Cash PT, what exactly does that mean? It is not a stupid question, Esther, and I hope and pray that you keep asking me questions. I love to interact. That's why I'm just conscious that people have got their Q&A open. Feel free to ask me a question. Cash PT is basically the traditional model of running a physio business was insurance, right? Wherever you are in the world, it was traditional insurance. You relied upon some insurance company to pay the bill on behalf of the patient. What's emerged over the last 5 and definitely 10 years is the concept of an all-cash business. So somebody privately pays their own fees that you set. That's the magic. You set the fees. It is insane. Right now, I posted this on Facebook recently. There isn't a single successful business owner in the world who would actively choose to get into a business where the prices are set by somebody else. You would never do that. The problem for an insurance-based business owner, he didn't start out a business owner. He or she started out as a physio. And then when they got into the business, they realized that they were strangled, and their biggest lever to grow profits and raise margin, which is pricing, by the way, and it is, they can't do that. So an all-cash business has an advantage because the number one lever to pull if you want to be more profitable is to raise those prices, and we're going to get into that today. Does that make sense, Esther? So a cash-based business is 1 billion%. Patient pays the bill, and the price is set by the business owner. Contrast that with insurance. Medicare tells you how much you're going to get paid, and it's a very different, very difficult model to scale, particularly these days. So this is the big thing that I want you to talk about today. I'm going to talk about with you today. We're going to have two camps. We've got two camps. Camp one, they need to make an additional 3 to 5 grand in monthly profits to start swimming, right? Rather than drowning in debt. And I've come to the conclusion that in 10 years of doing this now, people normally come to me in one of these two camps. Camp one, they need to make an additional 3 to 5K in monthly profit to start swimming, as in let's go, let's start making some money, some breathing room at the end of the month, rather than drowning in debt. Camp two, already doing about 20 to 25 grand a month, doing really well, but ready to scale to 1 million and need help to scale. So camp one, they need to make an additional 3 to 5,000 in monthly profits to start swimming rather than drowning in debt. And camp two, already doing 20 to 25 grand a month, a very good practitioner with a reasonably good or a very good reputation, in fact, in their town. And that's causing all of the phone calls. They're doing well, but now they're ready to scale. Camp one, nobody's ever shown them how, just out of curiosity, type into the chat. Nobody can see this now, by the way. So this is going to be pretty cool. We can have an open dialogue. I won't shout it out, your name. Just tell me what camp you're in so I can get some context for this. Are you in camp one or are you in camp two? Nobody can see. I won't shout your name, but I can see some camp ones. Is camp two referring to turnover or profit? Sam, it's returning to turnover. If you're doing 25 grand a month in profit, Sam, you probably don't need to be on this webinar. Just an FYI. 25 grand a month. I mean, I admire you being on this webinar, but you might be able to teach me something in take home. But it's very doable. Camp one-ish. So we have an overwhelming camp one at this point. We have some in camp twos. And don't it doesn't need to be 20 grand, but you just get my point that like you're doing well, right? Your revenue's there, you're making some money. But let's talk about this. Camp one. The problem with camp one, nobody's shown them how to appropriately price their services. Nobody's ever shown them how to get leads. Nobody's ever shown them how to market their practice. Nobody's ever shown them how to sell additional products or services. So they're in business, but they're drowning every month because the margins aren't good enough. The lead volume isn't happening fast enough. They're not selling any other products or services. So they're relying upon one service at low margin with very few repeat businesses. That's camp one. And they never get out of that if they don't learn how to do it. Camp two, they've got moving. Now, camp two's problem is usually this: frustrated trying to scale. They've either tried to hire other PTs and it didn't work because they didn't have the right systems or frameworks, or they are frightened to death about scaling. They've got a lofty ambition to get to 1 million, but they don't know how to do it. It's just like, it's just not the same. When I started, it was dead easy. It was just me. It was one admin. But now I'm trying to scale. That's camp two. So we have two distinct people. Revenue fluctuates, need to stabilize. So again, you might still be in camp one. Like there's just no consistency over the revenue that you're bringing in. A lot of camp ones, love it. So again, camp two, you guys are absolutely in the right place as well. And as we talk across the next few hours, I will point out that's more for camp one. And if you're in camp two, you need to be thinking about this. So I've got a clear indication as to who people are. Do not be worried if you're in camp one. And I think the beauty of these kind of webinars, when I bring people together, you get a context for, it's not just you, right? This is quote unquote normal. It's not nice, but this is how many people start in business. They don't really get into business. They're just very good practitioners. And nobody's shown them how to price, how to market, how to sell, how to do any of these things. And if you're not careful, you stay there for years, you close the business and you think, well, it didn't work in my town. But something like what we're going to share today is going to give you an insight as to what to do and what's possible moving forward. I've drawn a ring around camp one because I think it's you guys that need the most help. What a wonderful problem to have scaling to 1 million. It's a beautiful journey that we're going to go on together. Scaling from 20 grand a month to 80 is a beautiful problem. It's a self-inflicted problem, right? Think about it like this. The challenge of starting a business It's a marketplace problem. It's a I don't know how to sell problem. It's a skills problem. There's genuine fear in Camp One because there's no money coming in. The phone barely rings. Leads say no. They say you're too expensive, whatever you charge. There's real fear in Camp One. And I think that's the biggest market that I love to help and work with. Like when you see those guys, Camp One, it's unbelievable. When you teach them how to sell, you teach them how to price, you teach them how to market differently. It's so quick to get the Camp One to move into Camp Two, by the way. And then Camp Two, all the way, it's quite simple. It's about systemizing and scaling and making sure that any PT that you bring on follows a set of procedures or standard processes within the business that you might have took for granted at this point because you've just got a flair and a skill that works. So that's where we are. What I normally hear from Camp One is some version of, there is more month than money, Paul. There is more month available to me than money is available to me. Can anybody resonate with that? And I heard this one this week. I could survive on a 20-day month, Paul, but not a 30-day month. So I'm making enough money to get 2/3 of the way through the month. But if my rent just came on the 20th, I'd be absolutely fine. But it doesn't. I've got another 10 days that I need to live and breathe. And that's what you typically find with early business owners in Camp One. They're moving, but they're just not much. There's not enough coming through the doors to really help and make the difference. Everybody comfortable with that at this point? You know where you are, yeah? So which are you? I've already asked. Camp One or Camp Two? Log it. And wherever you are, there's a path for you. There's a way out. And it isn't, every business has got its own little nuances, usually depending upon the phase that you're in. So here's what we're going to learn today. Secrets of $1 million plus cash practices. How dream practices are really built. My very simple tip, it's 1 month at a time. It's very tempting to think that you look at a big business, how do I get there? Well, you get there 1 month at a time. I'm going to share with you some strategies that you must implement to really make this a fantastic year for you. And I'm also going to share with you what's working now on Google and social media. What's working when it comes to pricing and selling, and what other people are doing differently than you might be right now. So if you're open to it, I'm probably going to challenge you a little bit. I'm going to share with you some stories and some insights into what clients that I work with are doing that you might not be. It's very easy for you to say, that won't work for me, that won't work in my town. I don't like the idea of that. That's completely up to you. But if you're in Camp One, you're going to have to be open to it. And if you're in Camp Two, you're going to have to be open to it if your goal is the $1 million business. So why is it important? I think it's safe to say that 2025 is the year we can officially say that insurance pay is dead. It's a sinking ship with inflation and pay raises going through the roof, and reimbursements dropping very fast these days. More and more reclaims. That's the big one I'm seeing from my clients. The number of letters that insurance businesses are getting right now for reclaims is frightening. That Medicare, they seem to be just pressing print on letters saying that you owe them $120,000 for something that was legal. They're just looking to reclaim cash. So you're in a bad place. Cash PT is now uber competitive. Is a very, very low barrier to entry. The internet has completely revolutionized the ability of any cash PT to grow a successful clinic. To bring that into context, when I started teaching this 10 years ago, I was heavily into newspapers and postcards and Valpak and Yellow Pages and all these things. They were still working for clinics. The internet had popped. It definitely had popped when I first started this. And towards the end of running my own clinic, the internet had popped and I was early to it. But it's undeniable now that the internet is the place for you to be. Patients have been there since COVID, where they all got used to accessing medical care online. And what you're fighting against now is a cash PT who's probably 27 or 28, who has grown up with the internet as their best friend. They are not frightened of Instagram or Facebook or DMs or ads or websites or AI. They're not frightened about any of these things. None. They've grown up around the internet. It's revolutionized the ability for any cash PT to start and grow a successful business. You don't need big bucks anymore to start a PT clinic like you did 15 to 20 years ago. So the model's evolved. It's now people starting clinics like I did in gyms, renting small rooms, heading to yoga centers or dance studios to rent out a little room with a treatment bed, using Instagram or social media to get clients and charging appropriately. That model is alive and kicking right now. And if you're not in the game when it comes to the internet, the guy in the same town is going to kick your ass. The economy is still a mess, unfortunately, and it probably isn't going to change this term. Same in England. Unfortunately, whoever took the prime minister or the president, nothing will change in these 4 years in terms of the economy. Just Trust me on that. There's not going to be any real movement in it. Go study it, and it's blatantly obvious. We're years away from any real improvement in the economy in the Western world, whoever the president or prime minister is. And marketing is 20 to 30% more expensive today than 2 years ago. So there is no room for slop, is what I'm saying. Any dollar that you spend, we need to capitalize on. My story. So a little introduction to me. There are a few Paul virgins, so I'll tell you my story. For the person that was on here from Darlington, that picture there, forgive me, I forget who it was. The person on here from Darlington, that is Darlington Football Stadium, believe it or not. There is the black and white hoops of Darlington Football Club. That's me in my early years as a professional soccer physical therapist, football as we call it in England. That is one of the players. That was taken in about 2004 or 5, I believe. I left that job and I started my own business. I grew a 4-location cash practice all around the northeast of England, Darlington, Durham, Gisborne, and Hartlepool. At the height of me running that business before I moved to America, that was $1 million plus cash practice that I've since been able to license. I've gone on to write many books. I'm in the middle of my now 7th book. They're all on Amazon. So if you are just finding me, there's plenty of books that you can learn and read up on my business journey and things that I share with people. The books are loaded with principles that are timeless, is what I will say. $1 million cash practice that I've since licensed. So one of my employees now runs that business for me, and I get a 9% royalty on the business. So everything I'm teaching you, I've done it. I've started from zero. I've grown. I got to 17 staff. I got to $1 million practice. I've since exited that business, and I now license it. So I'm still involved in it, but I just don't do the day-to-day running of it. I just help with the marketing of it. So that's my story. I've since built a company called PhysioFunnels. It's a marketing automation platform that delivers more leads to grow your practice. On average, our top users made an additional 215 grand in revenue in just 12 months. That was last year's results. Those are 5 real clients of mine. Michael, Beth, Todd, Gina, and Jonathan Razik might even be on this training today. They were on my stage at PPM in Orlando last year, and we celebrated their success based upon the amount of money that they made in a 12-month window using my PhysioFunnels platform. So prosperity is alive and well. Growth is alive and well. These guys, there was one insurance business in there and everybody else was a cash-based business. So it's alive and well in the community. The negativity around the world is not ideal, let's put it that way. But if you are looking for it, you will find success. And the PhysioFunnels platform is helping people make a lot of money to grow their business. We now work with 200 plus clinics, and we spend millions of dollars on ads for them collectively. So lots of what I share with you comes from A, my own experience, and B, what I'm doing now to work with clients from around the world. You can check more out on physiofunnels.com. Actually, you can watch that video if you want. You can see what their story is and how well they did. My most favorite job is this one. I get to be a business owner through the day, and I get to be a dad to 4 beautiful boys, and husband to Natalie. I am very, very blessed, to say the least. And that picture was taken in Miami recently. I love to travel with my kids. We travel all over the world. I've took them from Australia to Canada, all across Europe, many, many states in the United States. We've had a blessed life, let's put it that way. And what's important to understand is that life is made possible because of a business. Now, I've had to have the determination and the sort of courage, if you like, to make good, big, bold decisions, to learn from smart people, to implement and execute. And if I live a terrific life today, which I do, and I'm very, very aware of that, I live a terrific life. And part of my story, my journey, is to bring people on the journey with me. But people always have to understand that I started from nothing. I started from a small room in a little town in Hartlepool, which is very economically challenged. For those of you who are not from England, it is a very, very economically challenged town. There isn't a great deal of money around, but I made it work regardless. And if I live a terrific life today that involves much travel and other businesses and lots of time with my kids, I've been to basketball this morning, it's because I made business a success. And if you want the same thing for you and your family, and you want to be able to travel and you want to be able to see the world, or in your case, it might just be really simply at this point to get home, to be at basketball with your kids instead of working all day. It might be to get your wife out of work. Natalie doesn't work. The business's goal was to make it work financially so that Natalie didn't have to work, that we could raise the kids, we could have as many kids as we wanted, and there would be zero financial implication, and nobody would have to miss out on anything. And that was a desire that I had and a reason that I love being in business, because it allows you the flexibility. If you do it right, it allows you the profitability and the wiggle room to really enjoy your life, so you can make a real difference to other people's lives, but ultimately to your own as well, which, remember, is what this is all about. So that's my boys. You've got Tobias, you've got Xander, you've got Harry, and you've got Grayson, who live here in Orlando with me to this point, and it's been a wild ride. So you can check me out, paulgoff.com. That's where my podcast is. paulgoffphysio.com is the physio clinic site. physiofunnels.com I mentioned. And how many of you are in school? Make sure you head over to school.com/paulgoff. We started this at Christmas, and it's been amazing. There's some wonderful conversations going on in there with like-minded business owners. And if you are just finding me, maybe check me out on Instagram as well. Instagram @thepaulgoff. All right. Turn off your cell phone and close the internet. I dare you. I'm staring at you. I dare you to turn your phone off. I dare you to do it for more than 5 minutes. Can you do it? I have a pen and paper ready to take notes and follow along. Focus 100% for the next 90 minutes on the material I'll be teaching you. Just look for one thing. You've probably read the book called The One Thing. It's very true in life. What was the one thing that made it a terrific day? What was the one thing that made it a great week? This is how I think and live. If I can go to bed on a night and I can find one thing that made it a great day, I'll find it. Then I look for one thing that made the week great. Then I look for one thing that made the month great. And then I look for one thing that made the year great. One thing that made the holiday great. Life is really, really simple if you focus on it. If you want it to be successful and feel successful, just find the one thing. You're going to get lots today, but just find the one thing to help you. Play along. Type into the chat. So again, if you're just joining, type into the chat and help me out as we go through the training. I would have loved it in the chat, but it looks like we're in the Q&A, which is cool because we can be a bit more intimate and you can share some things with me that you might not have done if other people were watching. So type into the Q&A. I love to feed off your energy, and I will be asking you many, many questions. So this isn't just me like verbatim reading from slides for the next couple of hours. I really want to get to know you. The agenda, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story, how I got from an absolute startup business owner with no clue about marketing and how to price or how to sell to a $1 million practice that runs today. You can ring the phone and somebody will answer it, generating monthly recurring cash through a licensing deal. What a dream practice looks like. I'm going to share with you some stories of what a dream practice looks like so you can start to think bigger and make it a reality for you. What a $1 million practice owner looks like and what they do differently, which I thought would be interesting. I've worked now with many multiple $1 million practice owners, cash PT practices. Most of them I've gone on a journey with and helped them from scratch to $1 million. I've watched their journey and I'm going to share with you what they look like and what they do differently from everybody else. I'm going to give you the 7 winning strategies that you can execute very, very quickly. And then at the end, we'll talk about how we can make it a reality. You might want to do something with me at the end where we can make some of this stuff really happen for your business. So please stay till the end for that. So what do most practices actually look like? Here's what they look like. Stuck. They look stuck, right? They enter, and I wrote about this in my accelerator book. They enter into this dreaded stuck zone. So they get started, right? And it just spikes. And I think somebody, was it Elliot? Did you mention? Oh, there we go. Paul S. Revenue fluctuates too much. Paul, this is your business right here. All right. A few patients one week, go treat them. Then it drops the next week. A few patients this week, drops. A few more next week, drops. And it just like this. It's just enough. One good week, one bad week. One okay week, one really shitty week. One very good week, but then 2 bad weeks. Up and down all of the time. Can anybody relate to that at this point in their business? Type in the Q&A and let me know. That for most people is the story of their business for 25 years. Madness, but this is what happens. This is the story of most people's businesses. Type in the Q&A. Let me know if you can resonate with that. Just give me an I. Just give me a yes or an I if that's resonating with you right now. For me, I was there for about 5 or 6 years. 5 or 6 years it took me to realize what was wrong. And what was missing technically. So when I ask people, what do you need? When I talk to people on consultations, one-on-one, I'll always ask them, what do you want? And they'll say, I want to make $200,000 a year. Great. What do you think you need? And then they'll say, I need more patients, Paul. And I go, no, that's not what you need. What's missing? What's missing? I need a marketing system. I need to learn how to price. I need to sell other products and services. I need to stop selling one-off sessions. I need to learn how to answer the phone. I need to learn how to recruit. That's what's missing. And that's what's missing in most businesses that causes them to stay stuck for 20 to 25 years. Heed the warning, guys, if you are new. And if you are stuck, you've just had it confirmed as to why you're stuck. Those are the things that are probably missing in your business. I was like you, and I got out of the gate with a premises, and I thought it was all about my reputation, being a great clinical physical therapist, and that would help me, and I would get patients. And I did. I got some patients. I was a decent physio. I'm not one of these who claims to be the best. Everybody came to see me when they were, tried other physios. I wasn't that good. I'd love to tell you that I was, but I wasn't. I was very good at the people side of it. I had a great way of talking to my clients. They seemed to like hanging around with me, and I did a good job. Everybody on here will be a better clinical therapist than I was. I could probably hands down tell you that. So I got started and I got moving and I made a little bit of money and I was doing all right, but it wasn't anything that I could really scale and really get behind. And it took me 5 or 6 years. One of the challenges that I built my clinic in a country with completely free healthcare. The Brits will know this. We have to sell against this thing called the national healthcare system. In the US and Canada, there's this spooky, horrible word called socialist medicine that you keep hearing about every election season. Pray that it never makes its way here. Just pray that it never makes its way here because it's a shambles. It's a shit show. And the whole thing needs a bomb dropping on it, but nobody's brave enough back in England to do it. Their solution is to raise taxes, to put more money into the thing that's broken to the core. But that's another story for another day. But our challenge in England is that we've got to compete and try and sell reasonably priced physiotherapy so that we can make some good money when everybody can go to the doctors and get a referral for a physio appointment. So it wasn't easy. The mindset in Britain is that people don't want to spend money on health because they've been conditioned that this national health is part of their DNA, and it's an institution and everybody should be proud of it. And like if you have a problem, you go to the national health. That's the way people are. So it was tricky for us. So I had to navigate those choppy waters. But I still had a dream. My dream, and I was thinking about this week, what was my original? I've got bigger dreams now. I've got other things. And I always talk about this, that you should have lots of dreams, right? Just make sure you accomplish them. And I was telling, you can write this one down because I think it'll help you. I was telling my top clients this week about the idea of boxing up your dreams. And at the end of your life, you go to the loft or the attic, I think you call it in some countries. You go to the attic, and in the attic when you're 85, there's all these pictures and all these memories, but there's also boxes with your dreams all boxed up. And that box has got the build a physio clinic dream. And then the next box has got the build a marketing agency dream. And then the next box has got the move your family to America dream. And then the next box has got another dream, and so on, and so on, and so on. Yet society wants you to have one dream. So I'm going to ask you to be greedy and have as many dreams as you want. Let's just make sure we tick them off one dream at a time. So whatever the current dream is, let's make sure we get it. My dream back then, and I'm talking 2007, my dream was to build the biggest physio clinic in my area. Right? I wanted to be the biggest clinic owner in the area. I wanted to make loads of money, and I didn't want to be there every day. I knew very quickly that I was in this thing to grow it. I wanted to scale it. I want other people working for me. I wanted to own the trains, but I didn't want to drive them every day. I had that ambition very, very early on. I love treating patients, but I really wanted to grow a big business. And I got to 4 locations. So I, at one point, undoubtedly, I had the biggest physio business in the northeast of England. So I knew how to be a great physio, but I didn't know how to get leads. I relied upon reputation. I didn't know how to price. I was the average of every physio in town. I called up all of the physios in town and asked them what they charged. And I kind of slotted in the middle somewhere. So by definition, I became average. I didn't know how to sell. I thought sales was sleazy. I just never even considered that in healthcare I would need to sell. I never, ever envisaged that one day I would have to sell my services. I just thought people would buy it because they're in pain and I could help them and they'd give me money and they'd all just say yes. How wrong could I be? And this was the big one. I didn't know that actually I should be offering more products. I only sold one service. So when you look at all those 4 things, that was the reason I was stuck. And that's the reason most people stay stuck. They don't have a predictable way of getting leads. They don't know how to price appropriately. They don't know how to sell. And they only sell physiotherapy. They only sell one thing, right? And that cocktail mix of those 4 things causes it to be a big pain. Type into the chat, does any of that resonate with you at this point? How are we doing? Made slightly easier now by the airline wait to the NHS for the outpatients. Genuine wait time. I've been there. Yeah, it's horrendous. It's horrific. Type into the chat. How are we doing? Everybody all right? Q&A, sorry, type into the Q&A. So this is the bit what I want to know now, and this is where I do need your interaction. Type into the Q&A, what's keeping you stuck? What's keeping you stuck? Tell me. In your heart of hearts right now, what's keeping you stuck? If there was a magic pill to get past this thing that's keeping you stuck, what is it? So Paul said 1 and 4. Danelle's saying marketing. Mike is saying one service and consistent leads. So we're only selling one service and no consistent leads. Jen is saying leads, marketing, and getting the name out there. Marjorie is saying effective, efficient marketing. I need to hire more PTs, but I need to be able to fill them quickly. Yes, you're in scale. You're in camp 2. Sam's saying leads. David's saying ineffective marketing for growth. What else? Type into the chat. What's keeping you stuck? Not effective marketing. So that was what kept me stuck. Like all 4 for me, like literally, it was like I was a good physio, like decent, nice guy. People like me. They wanted to come back and see me, but there was no like, let's go make some real money and grow a big business. Esther says not effective marketing. Don't know how to sell either. Marjorie says great with starting a marketing effort, poor follow through, so an implementation issue. Okay, all right, I get it. I hear you. Next thing I want to know. What's your dream? What's the dream? Let's do this one. I think this is the most important question. Elliot says unpredictable lead volume. What's your dream? Let's have a conversation. It's stunning how many people have lost sight on their dream. The unpredictableness, the dogfight that business is, the problems and the challenges that business presents itself can often cause people to lose sight of what their dream is. And I think it was Vince Lombardi, the great coach, said, it's very hard to be aggressive when you are not clear on what your goal is. So unless you're really clear on what your goal is, what your dream is, it's very hard to implement. It's very hard to deal with pushback or rejection or staff quitting or leaving, etc. And so you end up in a place where you procrastinate. And by the way, nobody else can see this, only me. Nobody else can see it. So I've got somebody shouting in here to grow a $1 million business that doesn't rely upon me being there past 2 o'clock. Very specific, Marjorie. I love it. Love it. Very similar to mine. Own the trains, but not to drive them. If I wanted to drive them, I could, but I don't want to drive them every day. Esther says to help women be able to spend quality time with them, to do so, and at the same time be able to contribute to my family finances without being super stressed and burning out. Love it. Dreams, guys. Come on, what are they? If there's a box that we're going to put this thing in and we could look back in 20 years and go, you did it, what would it be? I look back at the physio business. When I go back to England, I can drive around the Northeast. I see 4 clinics with my name above the door. And do you know what I say every single time? In fact, I'm going to tell you another story on it. Every time I go back and I see my name above the building, do you know what I say? 3 words. I did that. I did it. I did it. I did it. I built the dream. And I made the dream happen. And what's really cool now is I get to take my kids around. So whenever we go back to England, I take my kids to all of my businesses and I show them. And I show them where I started from a small little room in Hartlepool. And then I take them to my new office and I take them to the physio clinic location and I show them what Daddy built long before most of them were born. The dream was built. What else have we got? David, business vision, hire 2 more podiatrists and 1 more receptionist. More turnover, move from 270 to 400. Love it. That's the next phase. My wife retires to do 1 day per week seeing dream clients. Good. To be able to make more money working less with the ideal clients. Freedom, hands-off business, says Paul. Effective marketing, growth through acquisition. Love this, Sam. Of 4 or 5 private established clinics, which would allow me to be a full-time owner and not a full-time or even part-time clinician. Love that. Be able to spend quality time with my family. I've got 4 boys too. Love it. To help women be able to spend quality time. We've done that one with Esther. Travis says to be easily provide for the family without issue, build up the business to run independently from myself and expand the portfolio. So there's a big ambition there. I love that. That's an entrepreneurial ambition as well. Do you know what I find the most successful clients have? And I don't know whether I should say this, but I will. I like to be open and transparent. The most successful clients that I've worked with, I'm now into the thousands, by the way. Thousands. No exaggeration. Again, if you're just finding me, thousands of clients have gone through my programs, seminars. I had over 600 people last year at my events in the US. And by the time we added on Dublin and England, we had over 1,000 people from around the world just in person at my events just last year. So like I watch what goes on and I get to see it. And the thing that I've been able to get is that when there's a healthy mix of I want to be a really good business owner and an entrepreneurial ambition mixed with, I really want to provide for my family and I want my family to feel the benefit of my work. Those two together, magic, because there's so much motivation. Sometimes when you have a business owner that's too stuck on the skills and the growth, they don't really enjoy life, and it sometimes doesn't go as well as they would like. And if you get somebody who's just all in the camp of free time and traveling around the world and the nice lifestyle things, they don't always have the sort of ability to implement what is needed. So when you have the perfect mix of, I want to be the best business owner with the right skills, and I want really good things for my family, that motivation, you're in the game. That's been my best client. Mike says, being an owner, not an operator. Elliot says, scale to a multi-clinic, multi-million-dollar business that runs without me being there every day. Fantastic. So keep that in mind. And even if you didn't type into the Q&A, you've got to remember your dream. If I'm struggling sometimes with clients, I'm just, what do you want? What do you want? I can't help you unless I know what you want. Clarity on what you want is absolutely vital to the growth of your business and just the enjoyment of your life, so that you can call yourself a successful person. So whose dream is to simply add an extra 3 to 5 grand a month to make it easier right now? What if we box that up? What if the dream was, right now, if I could just get an extra 3 to 5 grand a month to make it easier to pay the bills and just live a nice life? That's box one, right? That's a dream. And that's one that we've got to achieve for you very quickly. How do we get the point of 3 to 5 grand a month in profit to make life easier to pay the bills? Whose dream is about building $1 million fully cash practices? There's a few people in here asking or suggesting that they want $1 million, and I love that ambition. And that's proven to me where we're at with Camp 1 and Camp 2. We've got Camp 1, we need to get 3 to 5 grand, and we've got Camp 2 with a lofty ambition who want to go fast and want to build $1 million practice. Anybody think $1 million cash practice is even possible? No referrals from doctors, no insurance company, all cash. How many of you already beat yourself and decided, actually, I don't even think that's possible? I kind of want it, but I don't think it's possible. Anybody worried about that? Who thinks it's possible? Type into the Q&A and let me know. Who thinks $1 million cash practice is even possible? All of the negativity. Is it even possible for a physical therapist with no business skills, no marketing skills, no predictable lead flow, doesn't know how to price, doesn't know how to sell, doesn't know how to deal with staff and hassles and recruitment? Is it possible? Hell yes, is it possible? And I think it's a pivotal point we're at in the webinar as we get into the tactics in just a moment. If you don't believe it's possible, what's the point, right? Like, what's the point in being in business if we don't believe it's possible? And I think that's a big thing for people to really ask themselves. Is it actually a belief issue here for many of you? Do you believe it's possible? Do you believe that you can have all of these things that you wanted? Do you really deep down believe that you are capable of building $1 million business, or that it is possible, that the dream of owning 2 or 3 full locations is possible for yourself? If it's not, close the business. If you don't believe it's possible, close the business, leave the webinar, like go back and get a job for a mill PT clinic and just take your salary, or get a job for a travel PT company these days. I've heard they pay nearly $100 an hour, seriously, as well, by the way. One of my clients this week got asked if they would take a travel PT. The request was $96 an hour. The PT, my client, said to the travel company, can I interview this person? They said, you can, but somebody else will have took that person in the next half an hour. Basically take them sight unseen for $96 an hour. They took the client, they took this person on, by the way. She was horrendous by all accounts, attitudinally awful, refused to do notes, arrived late, left early, didn't contribute in any way to team or culture, and was fired after 4 weeks. She's probably in another job somewhere earning $97 an hour at this point. She left the clinic without returning the keys, without filling in the treatment notes. It was a horror story, but it gives you an idea of where this profession is right now, but it also tells you, and this is where I'm going, if you just want to go make a bit of money, you can have a nice job, right? Go get one. Somebody's going to give you $96 an hour. You're probably working for some crap tip mill-like company, but they'll give you $96 an hour. If you don't want to do that, then we obviously have established that you have a dream to be a very successful business owner, making a great impact with your patients. I want to show you this. So this is a room, for the first time ever, when I held a mastermind meeting. Every single person in the room had started, grown, and built a $1 million cash practice. Every single person that you're looking at in that picture, you might know some of them, had started a business, was stuck in Camp 2, around about 200 grand a year. 3 to 5 years later, that room is averaging 1.6 million in revenue. 15% profit margins after fair market salary puts them somewhere close to 250, 270, in some cases $300,000 take-home pay from their businesses. That's my new office here in Orlando. That picture was taken 2 weeks ago, and it was a monumental moment for us all. I'd started working with these clients, and I've got a story to tell you about every single one of them, and I want to share it with you to inspire the shit out of you that anything is possible if you commit to doing the right things. These guys started their businesses. They started the businesses with the hope that they could achieve something big, achieve their dream, whatever that looked like. And in 3 to 5 years, they sat in that room with me, and the average is 1.6 million, and every single one of them is a cash-based business owner. And I share it with you. I share it with you because of some of the questions and comments in this Q&A. David says, of course, it's possible if you overcome fear and develop strategies and implement them consistently. And the good thing about those guys that you're looking at, from every state or every city with different backgrounds, whether it's pelvic floor, whether it's sports, whether it's elderly, whatever it is, these guys have done it. And they did it by overcoming fear, developing the right strategies, and implementing them consistently. Alison Felt is a pelvic floor PT. So again, just for any of you guys or girls that might work in different niches and think it won't work for me. Her story, she called me 6 weeks after the birth of her second child. She told me she wanted to grow a really big business. There's that entrepreneurial ambition, make lots of money, and still have time for her kids. See, both sides, they come together. The family thing and the business thing have to come together. If it's just the business, we end up with a very unhappy business owner. And if it's just the family, we end up with a very unhappy family person because there's no money to do anything with that family that they would like to. Fast forward to today. Alison's clinic, she's in just outside of Seattle. 1.6 million in cash pay revenue. She has multiple locations and more than enough time now for 3 children. Her business in the last 3 years has grew, are you ready? 750, 1.1 to 1.6 million. What do you think of that? Carrie, she called me in 2019. She just made the move from Washington, D.C. So she left a big city, right? So here we go. This is where you find yourself in these stories. She left a big city where people had money, apparently. They were all happy to pay cash because they had a little bit of money. She went to a small town in New Hampshire called Portsmouth. She arrived in Portsmouth to be told by the locals that cash PT won't work in this town. She'd left D.C. where cash pay was more common and worried that she wasn't going to be making any more money. At one point, she contemplated flying from Portsmouth every day, getting on a flight from Boston to DC to do 2 or 3 days on her old clinic. She was that worried that that's what she would have to do. Fast forward to today, a cash pay clinic is $1.2 million in revenue. She purchased her own building. She's got 3 full-time PTs treating all of the happy to pay in cash patients for her. Chris Garcia, one of my favorite stories, PT from San Diego. I first met Chris in 2017 when I was speaking at a conference in the city. Chris was working for a clinic at the time, and he asked me if I was free for dinner while I was in town. I obliged. At dinner, Chris told me of his ambition, there we go again, to grow a very big and profitable cash PT business in the sports performance niche. 2 years later, Chris got back in touch and asked me for my help with marketing that sports performance clinic. Fast forward to today, Chris is a business making 1.6 million in revenue with 2 locations, and he's got 5 full-time PTs treating all of the patients for him and 3 kids. What's funny about the story with me and Chris, I had Harry when I first met Chris, and there was me and Natalie and Harry and Chris and his wife. We met up again in San Diego last March. I had 4 boys around the table. Chris had 3 boys around the table. It was just a beautiful moment together. So there's some wonderful stories in this profession. Don't let anybody tell you that these things aren't possible. Jason is a PT from Pasadena. I think he was 100 yards from the fires. He was very, very lucky for his house not to be burnt down. He called me when he had his schedule as half full. He told me his wife was pregnant and that he needed to find a way to make the clinic profitable and fast. He told me that he wanted to grow that practice so that he could also employ his wife in that business, allowing her to quit a job working at another clinic in town. Fast forward to today, Jason is the owner of a clinic making, sites, $2.1 million in cash pay revenue, 6 staff PT, and has a thriving wellness and ancillary services program, adding significant profits to the business that he owns, but does not treat patients in. So he doesn't treat a single patient in that $2.1 million of revenue, except me, because I go over and see him. He's my personal physio. I head over to LA to see him occasionally for some treatment. He's amazing. Jonathan Ruzicka is a PT from Woodlands, Houston, Texas, calling me at the very start of his PT journey. The beauty of Jonathan's story, he was very skeptical. Him and his wife came on a call. He later told me that his wife was listening in the background and she was trying to catch me out because she didn't believe that I could help her. So they were both very skeptical about me, but he knew that he couldn't and didn't have the marketing expertise to grow his clinic on his own, determined to grow his practice to 1 million. And despite opening a new location just before COVID, fast forward to today, Jonathan's making more than $1.7 million in cash pay revenue in his practice. Best, he's another one who spends little, if any, time treating patients. He's got personal trainers and therapists in his business model, and it's fully cash pay. High profit and high time freedom. Kevin Vandy, clinic owner from San Jose. Very, very, very difficult market up there because of the extreme prices for rent and staff PT. Kevin called me a few years back and he told me that his clinic had hit a plateau. He was flatlined. He was barely breaking even with the rent and the costs associated with operating in California. He was struggling to get his clinic to produce the type of profit he wanted to produce for his 5 kids. 5 kids. Fast forward to today, Kevin is the proud owner of a cash pay clinic with multiple locations, multiple staff that makes over 1.5 million in revenue, and he doesn't treat patients. He chooses to run the business, not to mention spend time with his 5 kids. So I share the story. I share the stories to show you that A, it's absolutely possible for you, and to help you understand that when you see a 1.6 million business today, there's a backstory. They don't start as $1.6 million business owners, guys. Most of them start on a training like this with me 4 or 5 years ago in Camp 1 or Camp 2. That's what they all have in common. So what do they have in common? Me, right? I'm not saying I'm responsible for all of those success, but you've got to admit that it would be a pure coincidence to suggest that 9 people in the room, all with the same business coach, all starting around about $200,000, now make on average $1.6 million. I'm British, and normally I'm modest. Us Brits are not really allowed to brag, but this one, I'm bragging like fuck because I'm proud as shit as what's been achieved. And I almost was in tears with these guys when we were in the room 2 weeks ago as to the success of that room and what we've achieved together. And it's a testament to what's possible when you put smart minds together who are genuinely ambitious, who want to have a guide or have a coach and are humble enough to know that they need to learn and then go away and execute. Magic happens. Other things that they've got in common: courage to make difficult decisions when they weren't ready for it. Every single one of those guys made a courageous decision to buy something when they maybe didn't have the money, do something when they probably didn't have the time, quit the job, start the business, hire the staff person. The newsflash for all of us trying to grow a business: none of us are ever ready financially or emotionally for the decision that we need to make. Every one of them. I was looking for a polite way to explain this, but I couldn't be bothered to keep thinking. Every one of them started as a marketing dummy. Simple as that. They were a novice. They weren't marketing experts. They had no clue how to market, and that's why they were stuck. They were in Camp 1, stuck. Good physios, good human beings, good values, really wanted to help their community, but marketing dummies. All determined to build a better life for themselves and their family. Every single one of those guys has been determined to build a better life for their family, and the business is the vehicle. And this was the big one. There's something about people that win in life and business. They are willing to leave the average and okay behind. And unfortunately for the majority of the world, they live average. They live okay. They live it nice. They live it comfortable. But they never really get what they want from life because they're stuck at average and they live okay. Things are okay. Things are just all right. They're the salary's average of everybody that they know. The house is the same house as other people that they know. Their salaries are similar to their friends or family members. Everything is average. The news flash is that if you want to be successful, you have to detest average and detest rules that keep you stuck at okay. And that's what these guys have done incredibly well and differently. I would say the hallmark of all successful people is the ability to make decisions that feels uncomfortable. You will never meet a successful human being at the level that you want to play at in life who hasn't made a decision that at the time felt uncomfortable, that later turned out to be the best thing that they'd ever done. Write that one down, screenshot that, post it out, do whatever you want to do. But the hallmark of successful business people and just generally people in life is their ability to make a decision that feels uncomfortable and do it regardless. So how a profitable PT practice is built? It's my belief that they are built the same way that a top sports star builds a legacy. I love basketball. Since I've moved to the US, I've become a basketball geek. I used to go to Orlando Magic because I like the razzmatazz. Now I go to watch the match, right? And now I go to watch the game. So even if my kids don't want to come, like, I'm going to watch the Magic, and I'm sitting in that seat, and I'm having a beer, and I'm having a hot dog, and I'm watching the game, right? Like, I absolutely love it. And I've become obsessed with players like Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, obviously Jordan and Kobe, and like all of these guys, right? You think, what makes them so successful? Why are top sports stars so successful? How do they build legacies? With a commitment to being better in each game, each season, to beating their best stats, and always looking to go one better. And when I think about that, that's again something that you have to have. It's, if last week my best was 23 visits, I've got to be searching for 25 next week. If last week my best revenue was $7,000, I've got to look for 8 next week. If last week or last month we got 35 leads, I want 40 this month. And you begin to hone that competitive spirit that just drives you on, one month at a time, one best week at a time, one best month ever at a time. So many people in my school group talk about their best month ever. You see them the last few days posting their best months ever. We had our best month ever in January. And it's such a big achievement for people, but it's also achievable. We can break it down. It's not to think about this as a best year ever yet, or the dream that might take 5 years. What if we just break this thing down into your best month ever? Like, what would that look like? And if we just had a commitment to achieving your best month ever in February, and then again in March, and then again in April and June, or May, June, whatever, like, you're going to have a terrific year. And that's the way I encourage you to think about it. So how is success in business? How is a $1 million cash practice really achieved? I think it's with the same mindset. One marketing campaign implemented at a time, one campaign implemented at a time, 1 month at a time. We made 10 grand last month. I need to make 15 grand next month, and I need to make 17 the month after, with a commitment to making more this month than you did last month. I would suggest that your dream is going to be built with milestones achieved, and a very simple one to focus on would be the milestone of achieving your best month ever. Imagine if this year you could achieve your best month ever 6 or 7 times, and each month you beat your best month ever. If we focus on that, at the end of the year, you'll probably have your best year ever, and you will be 1 year into building that dream practice of yours that might admittedly take 2 or 3 years to get there. But if we focus on 1 month at a time, and we get 6 or 7 of them in 2025, you're going to have your best year ever, and you're well on the way to achieving your best and biggest dream that you can for your business. Everybody happy so far? Type into the chat. Tell me that you're okay. Are you breathing? Everybody good? We've got some good participation going on. I appreciate you. It's nice to have so many people here on a Saturday afternoon. So there we go. Right, let me type into the chat. David, look, what have we got there? Without get to the point. David, feel free to leave. Feel free to leave. Seriously, feel free to leave. In fact, if I could do it for you, David, I'm happy to move you on. If somebody wants to move David on, that would be wonderful. Right, what else have we got? How is a $1 million cash practice? Travis says all good here. Danelle says all good. Fantastic. Keep breathing. Grab a water. Whatever you got to do, keep taking your notes. What else have we got? Ask any of these $1 million PTs, and they'll all tell you it started with their best month ever. That resulted in their best year. That happened for 2 or 3 years. And before they knew it, they had what I would call their dream practice. Before they knew it, they had achieved the dream that we talked about. All of that is absolutely a prerequisite to you understanding what we're about to get into next, which is the tactics and the 7 strategies that we've got. The reality is that everybody on the training is probably 2 to 3 years away from a $1 million dream practice. I would say, Danelle, 3. It's very possible within 3 years. Yes, very possible. Very possible. Depending upon where you're starting from, of course. If you're in camp 2, definitely 3 years. If you're in camp 1, it's probably 5, is the truth. So if you're in camp 1, it's 5 years. if you're in camp 2 and you're doing well yourself and you're at that 15 to 20 grand a month, it's definitely it's doable within 3 years. Camp 1, 5. So there we go. That would tell me what you're thinking. But I think for most of you, if you're in camp 1, you're probably 30 days away from that 3 to 5 grand. So again, I'm just trying to give everybody context, because I think this is what you want more than anything. The strategies are great, but some context around what's possible and how to get there and what other people in your town or your city are doing. I think this is one of the most helpful things I can give you. So camp 1, we can achieve 3 to 5 grand in 30 days. Easy. That's going to be the knockover easiest thing that we can do. If you're trying to get to that million, it's probably a 2 or 3 year trajectory. So that's the commitment I'm going to ask you for. We're going to get into the strategies in a minute. As we do, can I have a little show of hands, a little type into the Q&A? Are you committed to your best month ever? Would you be committed to your best month ever? What does it mean to you? So this was posted in my group yesterday in school, when I asked people to tell me about their best month ever. This was from Jordan Sahota. He's from Portsmouth in England. Highest revenue January ever and month ever. Staff now employed, not self-employed. So he's took the contractors, he's took the sort of part-time as and when suppliers, physios. They're now on his books and can actually say for the first time we have a profit in which I see money in the bank account. Successful first workshop of the year under our belts as well. That's the best month ever. That's what it looks like. What does yours look like? What does your best month ever look like? We just hit 35 grand for the month of January, so my goal is to hit 40. Elliot, that's exactly how I'm thinking as well. That's exactly how I'm thinking. We don't want to go from 35 to 55 in February. That's probably not going to happen. But can we go from 35 to 40 in February? Yes. Yes. 100%. Stay with me for the next half an hour and I'll show you how to do it. Getting 3K more to get to 20. Love it. You're almost there, Danelle. These are the things when you look at what it means to you when you've achieved something. So at the end of the month, if you can look back and say, I've achieved my best month ever, it's a wonderful thing. It reminds you that you're a successful person, by the way, and that's why these things are so important that you do. When you remind yourself that you can achieve your goals, you are successful, that you are on the right path, like that's where you get the commitment from and the inspiration to keep moving forward. So whether you've typed into the Q&A or not, make sure that you start to think, what does a successful best month ever look like? Need to get hold of my numbers accurately to see. That depends upon where you're jumping from. It depends upon where you're jumping from, is my honest answer. If you're jumping from 0 to 10, I mean, might be. It could be. If we're jumping from 5 to 15, with the right price strategy, selling more products and services and extending the plan of care, possible. It's possible. So let's get into it. 7 winning strategies to make more in the next 90 days than all of 2024. The preface to this is this. So I'm going to show you strategies that will fall into one of these 3 camps. So people are asking, how much can I grow my revenue by? What's possible in the next 30 days, right? What can I do next month? What is possible? Here's the calculation for you. Increase the number of clients by just 30%. Which is going from 3 to 4. So even if you've only got a small caseload, let's go from 3 to 4 in February. Let's increase the average spend by just 20%. We raise our prices from 150 to 180. And I've kept all of this very low as to not spook anybody. And I suggest if you're in camp 1, these numbers might be somewhere relevant, right? We might be close. And if we increase the number of times they visit you by 30%, so we go from 3 visits to 4 visits, that's how you grow revenue by 100%. So you could double revenue by increasing the number of clients by 30%, increasing the average spend by 20%, and increasing the number of times that they visit you by 30%. 3 to 4 clients, 150 to 180, 3 to 4, and we've just doubled your revenue. That's how close you are. And that's what's possible in 30 days. So as I share with you these strategies, all of them fall into camp number 1, 2, or 3. They're either going to be about getting new clients, they're either going to be about increasing the average spend, or they are in the realm of increasing the number of times they visit you. So the 7 is actually 9, truth be told. There's 9. And all of them are going to be in camp 1 here, in 2 or 3. You can pick one and go, okay, that's what I can do now to get more clients. That one can help me increase my average spend, and that one can help me increase the number of times they visit you. Everybody okay with that? Does that make sense? The first thing, the first strategy that's going to help you make more money in the next 90 days is learning to close clients using social media. It is not for debate now that social media is the hottest. In fact, it is the gold rush right now for new patients. It is the gold rush for new patients for Cash PT businesses. It's called Sell by Chat, and this is the magic. It's called Sell by Chat. It's the new way to get clients from social media. It's about posting content, then starting conversations in the DM. So this is a conversation. Hey, Sarah, thanks for the follow. Are you here for the content, as in my videos or my exercises or my inspiration or whatever it is that you follow? Or this is this could, I mean, I couldn't show you the whole thing, but ultimately, this is a chat that could possibly last 15 to 20 minutes with the right questions. But the one I thought I'd share with you was the first question to get this thing started. Are you here for the content, or have you got a problem with your health? Boom. She says, I've got back pain. Really bad, can't sleep. Okay. Person in the physio business, my Polgar Physio Rooms. Sorry to hear that. Let's see what I can do to help you. Let me ask you a couple of questions. So the key is to start the conversation with a very strong, bold question, not the typical niceties. Yes, we're going to say thanks for the follow or the like or the comment or whatever they did. But what we need to ask them, I'm just going to, what we're going to ask them, we're going to get them to answer a question that starts the sales conversation and moves them down the continuum, if you like, to getting closer to being a client. So selling by chat, SBC is what it's called. It's the new gold rush. If you're consistent with social media, we don't need to grow followers. That's not your metric. What we're trying to do is put out consistent content that gets somebody to like, to click, or to share, or to whatever, right? Yes, we want them to follow you. Of course we do. But it isn't about you looking at that number going, look, I've got 10,000 followers. It's about saying, hey, look, I had another follower today. Let me go find out if that person is just looking for content, in which case that's cool. I'll be here when you need me. Or perhaps this person has got a problem. And if you start to ask these types of questions on your social media, in your DM, the response time is amazing. It is epic how quickly people respond to you. I have implemented this in my business, and it's been revolutionary in both businesses. Not so much, it's revolutionary in terms of the number of new clients we get, but the thing that was astounding was how fast people respond to you in DM. So we have a human on this, and very quickly we're able to start talking. So if you're in camp one, start here. Start reaching out to anybody who's liked, followed, or clicked on any of your social media. You could go back and do this tonight and just message them and say, hey, thanks for the follow. Do you like my content? Or have you got a problem with your health? Do you have a problem with your health? Sam, at this point, I'm not getting into the AI side of it and the tech side of it because it bamboozles everybody. At this point, this is something that people can go start doing tonight to try and get more people on their schedule. Done effectively, you will obviously need the content consistent, and that's the key. You're going to need the content engine behind it, but this is the strategy that we're watching now is the leader for people coming into their businesses. Don't focus on the big following. Just be consistent and targeted with your messaging. The key word is consistency. You should be planning a 30-day content calendar for February back in January. With technology these days, we can automate, we can set it all up. The stuff that you can get to replicate your content and just to get people to like or click or share. And the minute they do, you're just going inside of your DM and going, hey, are you serious? And if so, do you want some help? When people interact with you, that's when you get to talk to them directly. Most people think a follower will automatically call, but that's not true. So the mindset isn't to just grow a following. That's not what we're trying to do. I don't think you want to be an influencer, right? I think you want to help as many people as you can. So don't look at all of these big influencers and see their 10,000, 15,000, however many people followers. Don't look at that and think that that's what you need to be. Like those guys are making money from paid ads and sponsorships and partnerships and various things. They are, but that's not what we're in business for. You're trying to get 2 or 3 extra clients this week. right? We're trying to get out of camp 1 and into camp 2, or from camp 2 up to camp 3 in $1 million business. So it's not true that it's about the follower. It's about the conversation that takes place. It's right now the fastest way to get new clients for free. So there you go. Thought I'd share with you. Esther says, 30-day content seems like a lot to create. I'm not very good at creating content yet. It's another problem, Esther, right? Again, in business. You're right. It's something that people that do struggle with to keep up, but it's a gold mine right now. If you're using social media well and you're consistent, you'll see this pay out for you. You could go do it tonight. All of you could go back to your followers and your likes and your clicks and your comments and just message them. One of them, I guarantee you, will start the conversation with you tonight, and it will lead to a client this week. It's brilliant. So strategy number 2, packages, not as and when. Packages, please, everybody, not as and when. If you're in camp 1, you have to do this. And if you're in camp 2, I suspect you might be doing it. But what we've got to do now is formalize it for future PTs. Southwest Airlines is the best in the business. Did anybody know this? Southwest Airlines is the most profitable airline in the world, period. And it has been, I think, since the 70s. The reason that it's the most profitable airline in the world, does anybody know? Anybody know why Southwest is the most profitable airline in the world? Type into the Q&A, let me know. Personality and customer service, says anonymous attendee. Anything else? Personality and customer service. Jen says, I wish I knew. Anybody else? Why is Southwest Airlines the most profitable? Bags fly free, says Travis. Lol. Packages, I assume, says Esther. All right, I'll put you out of your misery. They figured out how to get baggage off the plane faster than anybody else. That's it. You go read the story. It's amazing. The CEO, the founder of Southwest, realized that planes on the ground don't make money. So then they looked at it and said, okay, if planes on the ground don't make money, what's the number one reason they stay on the ground longer than they should? It's because we ain't getting the bags off in time. Southwest made their whole strategy around getting bags off a plane. Why is that relevant to you? Every single business has the equivalent of this one strategy that makes all of the difference to their profits. And the smart business owners find it and then focus on it like their life depends upon it. So for Southwest, it was baggage. What's the most focus or number one most focus of any profitable PT clinic? Any business owner I've met that's killing it in business in PT is obsessed over keeping people on schedule. Obsessed with keeping people on schedule. Almost like dental, where every time you leave, you're booked in for 6 months or 12 months or whatever it will be. I don't think there's ever been a period in my life where I've not been booked on my dentist's schedule. And I suspect you're the same. There's never been a period since the day I was born or the first tooth started to come through that I've not been on a dental schedule. Even if I left today, I'd be booked in for 6 months and I'd get a text, and I'd get a phone call, and I'd get a review. There's a reason that dental practices sell for many millions of dollars quite easily because of that very strategy, that people are always on the schedule of a dental practice. The point of a PT business, if you want to grow it and you want to scale it and you want to be more profitable, there has to be a relentless focus for keeping people on schedule. The struggling clinic in Camp 1, by the way, if you're in Camp 1, I know that you're offering appointments as and when. Onesie, twosies. Let's see how it goes. Let's have a session here. Let's have a session there. Book out next Tuesday. Okay, next Tuesday comes, they book out one next Tuesday. The struggling clinic in Camp 1 is offering appointments one at a time. For whatever reason, that's what they think that they do. The struggling clinic in Camp 1 also tells clients to try it and see how it goes, to book a session for next week, etc., etc. The Booked Solid clinic offers packages and programs to keep people on schedule. It's all about start-to-end packages and start-to-end programs that has people on schedule. And then when that package is finished, it reverts to a maintenance type program. At the very least, a 6-month check-in to make sure that everything's fine at that point. A 12-month annual review. All of these things are implemented by the Booked Solid clinics. They are offered in the first session and they're often paid for up front. Fantastic for cash flow. For those of you who are in camp one, who are struggling at this point to make profit at the end of the month, and there's more month than money, if we can implement a package and program strategy into your business in February, it will change everything. The cash flow that you get from somebody dropping $2,000 to $3,000 up front would probably move you from a $2,000 a month just scraping by to a $10,000 or $12,000 a month, where you think, this is why I went into business. Packages and programs and keeping people on schedule, and you knowing how to do that and doing that effectively at your business is going to revolutionize 2025 for you. It benefits both clinic and patient. And the reason it benefits the patient, they want to know where they are. They want to know when this thing ends. They want to know what the outcome is here. They want the certainty that comes from a definitive start to end program. How many sessions should be in a package? As many as your ideal patient needs. It's not uncommon for some of the best clinics providing the best service to the best clients who want their health needs Rolls-Royce taken care of which there are many out there, is 12, 24, 36 is not out of the ordinary. That is not uncommon for clients to be taking 12, 24, 36 packages. And that's up to you, whether you want to stay in the 2s and the 3s and struggle along in business, or you think, you know what, if I start to talk to my patients differently and I find the clients who want to spend more money with me and I ask them specific questions and I offer them packages and programs in a way that benefits them and their longer term health needs, not just their short term pain relief needs, 12, 24 and 36 packages where people are spending 10 grand or more with you is 1,000,000,000% probable. At the very least, your average needs to be closer to 8 to 10 in the cash pay. In insurance right now, you're probably into 15s and 16s just to make ends meet. But in the cash pay, reasonably priced, the average package needs to be somewhere between 8 and 10. If you leave this training, heed this warning as well, in the nicest possible way. If you leave this training and do not implement a package strategy, you will struggle for as long as you are in business. However you feel about packages and however you feel about programs and however you feel about anything I teach you today, this is not interested in how you feel. You will struggle and you will never, ever be able to grow a profitable business where you will feel in control of. When you get people in packages, you are ahead. You're getting paid first for your work, not at the end. All of a sudden, there's a cash flow surge, and that thing just continues month after month after month. Question on that. So Danelle has agreed. I sent out 4 emails, 3 texts to my patients and made 13K in packages. Just need to get it done more consistently. Paul S says, do you like time-based packages or by sessions? Time like 1 time a week or 12-week program or sell a 12-pack and open to schedule? Yeah, it's dependent upon the client and the problem, but I'm just loving the fact that you're even considering it. 12-pack, hey, however you want to get there, 3 times a week for 4 weeks or twice a week for 6 weeks, whatever works. It's sometimes difficult if you're a business owner or the kids commitment, whatever, I don't know. But I love the idea of going, hey, my preference for you is 12 or 16, offer them it and let them figure it out. And that's what I would work with you on if this is not going on in your business. How do we implement the patient having the choice over the packages? And how do we explain it to the patient? How do we position it to the patient so that they want to buy it? What most of you neglect, and I spend most of my time talking to my top clients about this, when you see a cruise set sail, right? So I'm in Orlando. There's lots of cruises set sail from over in Davenport. Sorry, over in Cape Canaveral area. Some 20% of the people on that cruise chose a superior room with a stunning view, so that they could wake up every morning and look out onto the ocean, watch the sun rise, or paid more to watch the sunset. 20% of the ship with 1,000 people on it paid more money because they value better. The bit that I would work with every single one of you on is getting into your head to understand and identify in your clinic who those 20% of people are. There's a guy who's walked into your clinic this week. If you'd have offered him a different level of service, the equivalent of the view with the sunset on the cruise, he would have snapped your hands off. But unfortunately, you've been indoctrinated by a system that doesn't teach you this, makes you feel a little bit uneasy about it. And the reality is the guy that came to see you, he feels uneasy that you didn't offer him it. He didn't get what he wanted, and you didn't get what you needed. Choose which struggle you want, guys, is what I'm saying. When you really understand how all of this works, and I'm happy to go into it deeper later on, but for today, just start getting your head around the idea that packages are the thing that'll change your life. Multiple different ways, yes, and again, there's 2 or 3 hours to spend on implementing packages in your business. But done right, done effectively, this is the key to get out of Camp 1 and to really scale in Camp 2. Number 3, dominate local free Google business search. Regularly update. So again, if you're in Camp 1, these are the things that we've watched. The early business owner neglects these things. They have a inconsistent Google business profile. They're not on Bing Places. They're not on Apple Business Connect. These are all of the things that you should have updated regularly. Critical keys. Make sure that your primary category is physical therapy or physio. These are obvious things, but it's stunning how many people don't do it. Change the cover from default photos to something that better represents you and your business brand. Fully complete your profile, and this is the one I think will help you get patients this week. Put an automated link on there. Let them generate their own appointment. My suggestion is to the phone to start with, not for a physical session, but let them book an appointment with you on the phone, or if you're going to let them do a physical session, make sure you triage them after they've booked. If it's Sunday and somebody books an appointment from your Google or your Bing or your Apple, call them on the Monday and just make sure that they're a good fit and they know what they're getting into. Work on getting reviews on Google. Be relentless about this and responding to those reviews, both good and bad. Right now, Google reviews are becoming the new SEO. They're becoming more and more important as a way of separating you from your competition. And the more that you're active on Google with your reviews, you are telling Google that you're alive and well and that people love you, and then that your website should be promoted. This is what's called true SEO, not fake SEO where you're trying to manipulate it with content. True website SEO comes from Google reviews. Can the appointment link on Google, etc., be a DM to Insta? It's possible. I wouldn't, is my honest opinion from that point, James. Just get them to book an appointment with you and go from there. Post at least once per week on Google My Business. Same content as social posts. And the reason that's important, this content thing is so important for you in the Google My Business. If you update Google My Business, the followers, the people that have been on your Google My Business recently, they get notified if they're logged into Google that you've updated it. So you start to think of your Google My Business as a blog post where you can share content. And that's what we're watching, what the best clinic owners do, and who've really got this content thing together. And you have to now, by the way. You can't hide from the content engine that you're going to have if you want to keep up in 2025 and beyond. So Google My Business, you could take the blog, or you could take an email, or you could take some of your social media posts, and you can put it on Google My Business. And hundreds of people get notified if they've been on there and they've checked out your Google My Business or they've interacted with you in any way. It's another form of automation to keep in touch with your patients. So strategy number 4, free leads and repeat referrals. Everybody happy so far? I'm doing all right. Type into the chat. Let me know how you're feeling. Are we starting to give you some good? I always start big picture. And I have to. And I always start with some inspiration. And I always start with what's possible, because motivation without inspiration or strategy without motivation is absolutely pointless. Like it just gets left at the door. So we're getting into more of the things that you can do now, but hopefully you've got a bit of an idea as to what you want and how it's gonna go. Do you compare packages versus one-off prices? Yes. Again, it's a bigger question. I could get into that for you and whoever Anonymous is. That's a big conversation. Bradley says, great advice. Always forget about my Google My Business. Yeah, thank you, Bradley. Again, we just like to show up every 3 or 4 months with just good reminders of things that are happening, just to help you and just keep you moving. The big one now, again, for your Camp 1 guys, you guys in Camp 1, you've all been taught that a business card will do, or that your reputation will precede you, and your patient will tell you, I'll tell my friend, right? And they want to. So a patient comes in, you treat them, and will tell their friend about, I'll tell my friend she's got back pain, she needs to see you. But how many referrals do you get relative to the number of people who you know? Dan Kennedy asked me that question a few years ago, one of my business mentors. And he said, Paul, the fallacy of running a private practice, whether it's chiro or dentist or physio, is everybody thinks that they're getting referrals from past patients. He said, but go in and think about all of the patients that you've seen versus the number of referrals that you get. It's a very low percentage. And even if you do well on referrals, I bet you it's still very low relative to how many patients you've seen that you've done a really good job for. The problem is people leave your office and they forget about you. And so this referrals and word of mouth thing, I've never bought into it as a strategy to rely upon, done as most people are allowed to believe it works, which is just do a good job and people tell you. Randomly asking for referrals is a complete waste of time. Hey, can you refer me to a friend? What I'm basically saying there is, can I turn you into a salesperson? People feel uncomfortable actually when you ask them for referrals, is my experience. And it's like they promise you that they'll do it, and then they almost feel uncomfortable when they come back and see you that they haven't been able to deliver on it. And that's why I am very uncomfortable, very, very difficult to do that, because it puts the person under pressure and it changes the relationship. Business cards, don't even bother. It always makes me laugh when I go in Starbucks and I see a yoga teacher's like business card or chiropractor's business card on the wall or whatever. It's like, oh, you guys are out of ideas. You know, you guys are still stuck in the 70s. What you need is a real referral pack. Real referral pack to hand out real information about you and your business. I had a lot of people say word of mouth is the main thing I need to use, but no help so far. Makes you self-doubt. Correct, Esther. Correct, right? Again, Esther, I've coached 1,000+ business owners in the last 10 years, and I've built my own business. Everything I've been through the lot as to what is supposed to work and what doesn't work. And this wait for word of mouth thing does not work. We can get word of mouth, and this is how we do it, with real, what I call referral packs. So what I create is information for my clients to give to their friends and family. So I created things like this: 12 frequently asked questions of physio. Please give your friend this. Everything you need to know about hiring Paul Gough physio rooms. Please give your friend this. Real success stories of people who, like you, avoided painkillers, injections, and surgery and got back to doing the things they love. Inside of those 3 reports is information to help people make decisions on me. We put that in a pack, in a nice gold envelope. We write the person's name on it. We put little handwritten post-it notes in there and a little voucher to say, come and see us, we want to help you, blah, blah, blah. Then we ask the patient to give that to their friend with back pain. That was the game changer. It's information-based referrals. Free leads. That's where we get, there's 3, 4, 5 different strategies like this that we can get free leads for you. But we can't just wait for the phone to ring because you did a good job. We'd like to think that that's how it works, but it doesn't. Not at the level that you want. Now, you will get people who call you, of course you will. But if we're trying to speed this thing up and you're trying to grow faster, we need information-based referral packs. The best thing about information as well is you get what I call high-quality leads. High-quality leads. And to me, a high-quality lead is somebody who's educated. We get educated clients calling. And that's, guys, how you're going to stop this. I didn't realize how expensive you were, or I didn't know you were cash PT, or I want to use insurance. You're all hearing those things every single day because you're attracting uneducated leads. Uneducated leads don't become good clients. Educated clients, educated leads become very good clients because they understand the value that you offer that is almost impossible for you to explain on the phone in 1 minute while they're asking you questions about your price. This is a big, big deal. If you can put this into your business in 2025, we're going to increase the quality of the volume of referrals, but also the quality of referrals. And these are the guys who are going to spend more money with you. That makes sense for everybody? Number 5. So strategy number 5, questions-based objection handling process. So huge. Camp 1, this is killing you. If you're in Camp 1 and you don't know how to handle the objections, you're going to spend your whole life thinking everybody who called you is a bad lead. You're going to think everybody in your community hasn't got any money. It's called questions-based objection handling process. Who can resonate? I always get calls from people wanting to use insurance. My leads never want to pay for PT. They always tell me they'll call me back, but never do. I want to hire you. I just don't have the money. Is this ringing true with anybody? Sound familiar? Camp 1, this is probably your reality. Camp 2, when you're trying to bring in another provider, this will be the reality at that level. This is what your second therapist will start hearing unless we have an objection handling process in the business. Without a real objection, you will always hear it's too expensive or I'll try insurance. So objection handling is about quality questions. This is the thing. You don't have to be great at sales. You have to be good at asking quality questions. So when somebody hears that you're a cash PT, you might respond with, well, what do you value the most? Is it money or is it health? You might ask, what made you call me? You might ask, what are you looking for in a great PT? You might ask, do you want a quick fix or a real long-term solution to your back pain? Whatever it is, these are the questions that you're going to ask. Strategy number 6, small group workshops. Small group workshops is where it's at now. Not big workshops. Pre-COVID, it was 30, 40, 50 people in the room, and that's how everybody was taught. That's not what they want now. Small group workshops is what we've been advocating for the last 2 years. Once a month, bringing people to your office for you to educate them. Like I said before, educated leads are your best leads. There's no way to scale a PT clinic if you're working one-on-one 24/7. You will run out of time. You guys in group 2, you have to be thinking about small group workshops. If you're in camp 2, you should have been doing them a month ago, yesterday. And if you're in camp 1, there's never a better time to start than this month. If we can put 15 people in a room and you can start to talk to them about their back pain and educate them on you and what you do and how you do it, it's going to be a game changer. Workshops give you leverage, and it's called one-to-many selling. So whether you're in camp 1 or you're in camp 2, this is going to be fantastic for you. It builds what we call expert status, and everybody needs it. So those of you who are hiding from it, like, this is your opportunity to say, hey, this is how good I am. I am an expert. I am an authority. I am the leading individual that you see. The more that you can claim and the more that you can own that, the more that the price goes up and the less objections that you get. The big thing about workshops that I encourage you to understand is it allows you to teach before you sell. Teach before you sell. So if the phone rings and I haven't taught you, I'm immediately into selling my services. But if I can get you in a room and I can educate you, then I can invite you to become a patient. The other thing, 50 to 60% conversion rates from workshops when you're looking at Google and Facebook being around about 10 to 30%. Round about 10 to 30% is Google and Facebook. Workshop conversations can probably get to 50 to 60%. Yeah, David, welcome in. Yeah, chat's broke. There's a problem with Zoom. We've been trying to reach them before we started, so we're all on Q&A. It's Zoom, David. So I can see you and I can see everybody else's Q&As, but I can't see, you can't see everybody else's. So just keep the questions coming. I can see them. Nice to see you, David, as well. One of my favorite PTs. One of the most aggressive price-rising PTs I've ever met in my life, who really values his service. So, David, we've got you. You're there. Just keep typing into the Q&A. I can see you. The bit that I want to stress with this and your takeaways, it's not about large volume. If you're going to go off and do these, it's evolved into small and intimate with 15 people. People prefer to ask you questions, to feel part of the room, to get close to your magic. So if you look at this webinar, I don't like the 500-person webinars anymore because it's too big and I can't answer people's questions. If I keep this to 100, I can answer your questions and we feel connected and I can get to know you, and this becomes a much better workshop. This is an online workshop. We get significantly better results from doing a workshop like this because we are smaller and intimate, and I can talk to you, which is why I was desperately trying to get the chat to work in the early part of the seminar, because people want to ask you questions. So if you're going to do it, bear that in mind. Easily add 8 to 10 grand a month, and if you're in Britain, the average right now is about £4,000 to £5,000. £4,000 to £5,000. What's interesting and something I'm very proud of, I just announced this in school yesterday. I put the data in. My company ran 23 workshops last month in January. When we did our review, we did 23 workshops for clients. We made just under $225,000 collectively. So I think the average was something like $9,500, whatever it was, give or take a few dollars. So running workshops done well, done right, is around about $9,000 on average for a small group workshop, which is not too shabby for 90 minutes of a presentation. Would anybody disagree? Marjorie, yes, free workshops. Free workshops, invite people to your office, let them get to know you, let them feel your magic, teach them about their back pain, and then offer if they want to move forward with a package of care after that. And number 7, sell profitable ancillary wellness services that are outside of the scope of physical therapy. What is the best business model? People always ask me this. Is it out of network? Is it in network? Is it cash? Do you know what the best business model is? The one with one client who buys 3 different things. That's the best business model. Put that on a bumper sticker. Your business should be about finding one client who buys 3 different things from you. Anything else, it's going to be too difficult for you to get headroom. Marketing is the hardest thing you'll ever do. Sales is the easiest. Once a customer trusts you, they'll buy the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th thing off you. They would much rather give it to you. And I think that's where a lot of physios go wrong. Camp 1, we can implement something like this next month, and we can probably double the revenue through your business. Even if there's only 10 people in your clinic right now, what if 5 of them bought a product for $2,000 that was outside of the scope of physical therapy or billing? What would that do to your margins? In Camp 2, this is what you should absolutely be thinking of to get to that $1 million faster. What I want you to consider is that there's no company in the world that is profitable that only sells one thing. No. The only people that do are people like physios who are physios and haven't become or think like business owners yet. So I think that's up to you. Do you want to stay a physio? Fine. Or do you want to be a business owner? If you're a business owner, we've got to put in 2 or 3 different products and services inside of that business that same one client wants to buy for you. Ancillary supporting services sold for cash are the key to sky high profit margins happening very quickly. Never forget that finding leads is the hardest thing about business. Sales is much easier. Although you might not like it, it's actually much easier. And a bonus strategy, this is definitely for those in Camp 2, but Camp 1, you can have this. If you're trying to scale and fill another provider, Facebook and Instagram ads, paid ads, 24/7 lead flow from Facebook and Instagram ads. Not to be confused with social posting. This is more about paid ads inside of the ads platform where you target a specific group of people and spend so much money on it every day. You've got to be there. Camp 2, you needed to be there yesterday if you have any ambition to scale, not just the organic side, but the paid side of it. Quality leads for as low as $19 are very possible. And the key is multiple ads. So this is the takeaway for you. If you are running ads, don't just run one ad. You want them all running congruently at the same time, and then let Meta optimize this for you. Here's an example of 4 different ad sets that you could use to fill up workshops. So I've just told you about workshops. This is how we fill them up for clients. I'm going to share with you some real ads so you can see it. I also said to you the best clients are educated clients because they come in preordained, let's call it, to want to buy from you because they know who you are. So we want 4 different ads. And one video for Meta might be you on video talking about your workshop. It could be you on video teaching at your last workshop. So we could just clip it up and put it out on social media. A client on video who attended the last workshop saying how good it was, and a static image with an announcement about the workshop. What we're going to do is run all 4 concurrently and let Facebook or Instagram decide which is your best. We need about $800 to $1,000 to make this work. And here's the ads. So the first one is a patient testimonial ad. So if you look at that, this is all within one group, right? That's a patient on video for one of our clients. This is Jonathan Razik. We run Jonathan's ads, who you saw earlier. Actually, he was in the $1 million room, the winners table. We run his ads. We've set this up from. This is a lady who attended his workshop who said how good he is, and he's the best, and he's a genius, and he's wonderful, and you should attend his workshop. So we got 1 lead for $45, right? Not bad, right? 1 lead for $45. But then we got Jonathan on video. Excuse me again. I have a very tickly cough today. So we got Jonathan then to come on the video. And he said how good he is. Okay? Give me 1 second. Just what you need when you're teaching all weekend is a cough. But the show goes on. The show goes on. I can't chat to you and I can't talk to you today. But I'm doing my best. I've got water in my eyes as well. Right. So Jonathan, this is Jonathan saying how good he is, which is cool. So now we have a patient saying how good he is. Now we've got Jonathan personally inviting you. But look at this. So these leads came in at $28. So we got 6 leads from Jonathan saying, come to my workshop. And they came in at $28. So we spent $169 to get 6 leads to opt in for a workshop. Now look at this one. This was a reel, right, where we put 3 images of a workshop that we'd set up in the past. Jonathan actually holds the record for the most number of attendees that we've ever filled up. We had 111 people at one of his workshops last year. That's actually what you're looking at there, the Secrets of Health Hero. So we took some images and we put that in his next workshop to fill up. So this one, look at this. This one got 4 leads on Facebook, and this only cost us $14.65. So we only spent $58 on this one. Is this making sense for everybody? So all four of these people, all 4 of these ads all work together at the same time. Then we put another ad out with just an image and a blatant pitch for the workshop. This one got 7 leads at $27, and we spent $195 on this one. So what's worth understanding, all of the ads are working in tandem to produce this low lead cost, attracting people who want to be educated fast. So let me show you this. Just how profitable could this be? Step 1, 18 leads at $496. Everybody following? So at a $26 cost per lead. Step 2, if in that workshop 65% of those 18 people show up, that's 12. Step 3, 65% of 12 who showed up convert to PT, which is 8. If you charge $2,000, 8 times $2,000 sold on a plan of care is $16,000. 496 divided by 16,000 is a 32 times return on your investment, or a 3,125% return. I'll leave you to take a picture of that. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. And this is what I tell people. If you commit to doing this thing right, and you really go behind the scenes of what is working and what does work and what the successful people are doing, there ain't no issues with, if you're in camp 1, getting that $3,000 to $5,000 headroom. And if you're in camp 2, working towards $1 million practice. This is what they're doing. Here's something. So that was leaning towards camp 2. But if you're feeling a little bit flush and you want to put some money on a credit card to get your Facebook ad campaign up and running, camp 1, you should be looking at that as well. Both of you need this. Both of you need to be charging above average prices. Your price for me is the indicator of value. Low price, low value. And as I wrote about in one of my books, To Sell This Healthy, in this book I wrote all about how ultimately price is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. And what you see is when somebody sets their price, it's usually based upon what they think they're worth to the marketplace. Low price, low self-respect. Not very nice when you hear it, and I hope it shocks a few people, but that's really what happens. You do not want to search. Not one of you on this webinar has ever searched for the lowest price physio in town. You would never take your kids to the lowest price dentist. You don't do anything like that. Nobody does anything like that. You want the best dentist in town. Fortunately, the best dentist in town also charges the best prices. So for me, you can't say that you're the best and then charge the average. A real price strategy should be reviewed every 90 days, and it's the key to above average profitable business. Often this is the fastest way to grow profits. Most PTs, has been my experience of doing this for a decade, most PTs, when they come to me, when they start with me, they're often 50% lower than what they could be. 50%, easily. 50% lower than what they could be if they just had the right strategy to execute the price rises continuously in their business. With that in mind, I'm going to remind you of this: how to grow by 100%. So we've seen strategies for getting new clients, whether it's workshops or social media or free referrals. Grow from 3 to 4. We can increase the average spend because we've got packages by 20%. We can go from 150 to 180. So we increase our prices, and we increase the number of times that they visit you by 30%. That means we're going to go from 3 to 4 visits. For every one of you on this training, that's how close you are to doubling your revenue. And in that, for most of you at the next level, there's probably no more expenses. This is the bit to factor in. There's no more expenses in any of these things. You are doubling revenue, and all of the profit is found in that next step, that next level, going from $5,000 to $10,000. You've already got your expenses built into 5,000. That's the problem. The first 5,000 is being sucked out by all of the expenses. all of the clear air, let's call it, the pure oxygen is found between 5,000 and 10,000. That's where you need to be. And that's what this strategy does. And that's why I picked all of these things for you today, so that you know exactly where you are and what you can be doing in order to achieve that dream. I've got a few great frameworks to show you that you're going to love. This is going to really open your eyes. You're probably one skill away from all the profit you want. So I promised on the registration for this webinar, I'd show you how easy it was to make an extra $77,000 in profit. You're probably one skill away. Even if you get 2 inquiries, so let's keep this really low, that you currently don't convert. They're coming off the website, they're coming off Facebook, they're coming off just a referral, whatever. The phone rings, somebody leaves a voicemail, you don't convert them. So if we can convert 2 that you aren't, just one of those 2 who would otherwise go elsewhere could bring in a minimum $77,000 in net profit. Here's how it works. So let's think of this. You only get 2 inquiries this week that you didn't convert. We convert one of them. This is what's possible. Are you ready? If your patient average 5 sessions and you charge $150 with one additional conversion, you add $750 per week. That is $35,000 a year. Raise your rate by 50. That brings in $250 per patient more, meaning you've now added another $12,000 per year in additional sales from that one extra conversion. So at this point, that's all we've had to do. Convert, add $750 per week, 35 grand a year, raise your prices by $50, not difficult to do, not for where most of you are starting from. That brings in an extra $250 per patient, meaning you've added another 12 grand per year in additional sales from that one extra conversion this week. Finally, move to packages, prescribe the minimum 8 sessions that they need instead of settling on 5, which is probably easy for you, that will bring in an additional $600 per converted patient at your new rate, and you've just found another $30,000 per year. That is $77,000 in extra profit on just one extra patient that you successfully convert per week. So when we put everything together that I've taught you today or shown you today, and you start to implement one of those 3 things or all 3 of those 3 things, this is what it means to your business. And this is how close. If you're in camp 1, 77 grand a year is what? 6 grand a month? 6 grand a month, something like that. 6 grand a month clear air by implementing these things. And if you're in camp 2, when you haven't got that wiggle room yet for that second provider, we go fix your shit, shall we call it? We've just found the clear air for you to scale, because that's what holds most of you back. Most of you are at this point and you can't scale because there's no fresh air. You need a wiggle room. You need some room for investment in the business for it to grow. Next thing I want to look at, what's your profitability potential? Is everybody okay with that so far? So the profitability potential of a business is important to understand. If you attract just one new session a week, right, one new person extra a week over and above what you did in 2024, that gives you 50. Increase your conversion ratio to 80%. So we convert 80% of our clients that come in. That gives you 40 patients. If the average spend is 750 and we increase that by 20%, which is not a lot, to 900, that represents in future revenue for you $36,000, 40 times. So we only need 1 a week to add $36,000. All we did on the other one was added a few tweaks to your sales system, and we've added $77,000. Between these 2 things, you're up at over $100,000, which is 10 grand extra a year for most of you. A couple of points to recap before I tell you what the next steps are. You can have, I think, all of the clinical skills in the world, but if nobody knows that you exist, you will never achieve your dream. I think you can have all of the clinical skills in the world, and I'm talking to you, that I'm sure you're a fantastic PT. But if people won't pay your cash fees, you'll never achieve your dream. You can have all of the clinical skills in the world, but if you're consistently being overlooked by doctors who won't refer, you'll never achieve your dream. And they don't refer to Cash PT, we know this. You can have all of the clinical skills in the world, but if you're never certain, and this is the one that used to haunt me, you're never certain if the phone will ring enough times this week, you will never achieve your dream. You know what you want, and these are the things that are standing in the way of you getting it. My question to you, and I think I proposed it at the start, how badly do you want to achieve that dream? How badly do you want what you say you want? Big question for every single one of you to answer. I'm unashamed to tell you that I've achieved my dream, and I'm on with multiple versions of that dream. I'm ecstatic and proud to tell you that I've helped hundreds of others just like you achieve the same, their dream. I've been at this game for years, and I've watched people go from fresh-faced startup newbies, marketing novices, dummies, whatever you want to call them, with not a clue on how to price, how to sell, with little more than 2 or 3 people on schedule, to now making hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. I'd like to help you do the same. I propose that we start with achieving what I'm going to call your best month ever in the next 90 days. It's a challenge of sorts. I'm going to propose that you and I work together for the next 90 days and we execute on all of the things on this training and more, by the way, into your business so that you can proudly say that you've achieved your best month ever. And we do it in a way that I set it up for you. You could rightly expect multiple best months ever. And we build into your business all of the things to allow you to have a better month than you've ever had before, that will accumulate into a year that you've never had before, that will move you towards that dream practice that you are thinking about. If you need that extra 3 to 5 grand a month, we can go and get it. It's not for debate that we can go and get it. And if you need to bring in other providers so that you can scale to 1 million, we can do it together. I've done it myself and I've helped many others do exactly the same. With that in mind, I created a training and it's brand new. It's been in the works for a long, long time in my head, having worked with thousands of you now. I've been able to really piece together what works and what is causing the success. We have an above average level of success with our clients. That is not normal that you get $9 million cash practices around one table in Orlando that all start from not much really. I've put it all in this program and it's called Your Best Month Ever. It's the 90-day live marketing, coaching, and implementation program for physical therapy practice owners. If you're a private practice owner and you need more patients, more money, this is absolutely for you. It's a brand new program called Your Best Month Ever. But it is the best of all of the programs, whether it's my accelerator program, my sales bootcamp program, my business growth skill program, all of them, countless hours, thousands of hours of sessions I've done in seminar rooms around the world. I've took what I think to be the most impactful lessons that I've ever taught, and I've put them all into this, what we're calling Your Best Month Ever. So stay for a few minutes and let me tell you about it, and I'm going to give you an invitation to join. It's got 3 main focuses, giving you the coaching and training to achieve your best month ever. Get you on your way to making more money this year than ever before. So we're going to start with the best month, and we're going to build it in such a way that you could rightly expect to have your best 2025. Putting you around other smart business owners on the same journey of achieving their goals and dreams, which I think is important. You are the sum of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. It's very lonely in business. You don't know what you don't know. When you realize what other people are doing and how successful they are, it just gives you another level of inspiration to keep moving through the dark times that inevitably happen in a business. So those are the 3 main focuses. You know that you need to make an extra $3,000 to $5,000 at the end of the month. If you're in camp 1, we've got to fix that fast. Do not go another month. You owe it to yourself not to go another month. You've been shown, you've never, and that's the problem, right? It's not your fault. It's not PT schools, but it's nobody's fault. To this point, you've just never been shown how to get leads, how to price appropriately, or how to sell. I also am probably 99% certain that you don't offer any other products or services. Sure, there might be some pillows, or there might be some like nutrition things going on, multi-level marketing type stuff, but nothing that's going to really make the difference where you could sell a $2,000 or $3,000 Shockwave package, for example. I'm going to show you how to do all of that. And you've probably tried to do it the hard way, which is on your own, and want to get real help and coaching. And that's who we're looking for. Somebody's tried, they know at this point they can do it on their own. They've had multiple goals at improving their best months and multiple goals at improving their best years. And they do genuinely see real value in help and coaching. It's the same as a patient, right? Every good patient, you want the ones that value your help and coaching and guidance. The ones who like YouTube and cheap stuff and want to listen to podcasts and, you know, buy cheap books and just feed off free stuff. Like, you don't want those guys, and neither do I, to be perfectly honest. I want people who have acknowledged they've tried to do it on their own, which shows guts and character, and now they see the value in getting real help and coaching, and they're happy to buy it. It's also for you if you're doing well. We want you if you're doing well, and I want to help you go from whatever it will be, 15, 20 grand a month, give or take, but have so far been unable to scale. We can use this program to get clear air into the business, which is more profit that you can reinvest into the business so that you can scale. Your reputation has probably got you this far, but now you need real training and coaching on how to market and sell other providers to fill up an other PT schedule. If you want to scale, but there's just not enough money left each month to invest in growth, then this is absolutely for you. So the price, $5 grand, the full value of the program. It's very limited. We're excited to get this first cohort moving. And the full value of your best month ever is $5,000. These days, my coaching and consulting VIP days are $10,000. I do those in the UK, I do those in England. People fly in from all over the world, and my rate is $10,000 a day if you wanted to hire me to work exclusively on your business. My done-for-you marketing programs in PhysioFunnels, they're sold at $36,000 per annum, and we've got hundreds of clients who do it. You're going to get 12 weeks of live coaching, support, guidance, scripts, frameworks, tutorials, tough love, kicks up the arse, a zero tolerance of excuses along the way when it comes to 90 days to make sure that you get your best month ever in the next 90 days. If you're still on the webinar, and it's outrageous, by the way, how many people are still on. I think I've still got 93 I can see on my scoreboard here, which is amazing. Because you're still on the webinar, and that tells me how committed you are and likely to benefit from joining the program. I would love to work with you. If you've given up your Saturday afternoon for me and you're going to get on very, very well. If you join the class today, you can make 4 easy payments of just $897. You'll save $1412 for doing so. Or if you want to make one payment, it's $3,400. So you can save a little bit more if you wanted to get it paid in one payment. So the price for your best month ever, just 4 payments of $897. Or one payment of $3,400. I've got a guarantee. I believe in this program so much that I'm going to give you a guarantee. You'll get 2 weeks to try the program with me. And if by the end of module 2, you don't think it'll do what I promised you or that you're hoping for, which is your best month ever, I'll give you your money back in full. If you tell me this month isn't a good month to have your best month ever, because you're busy doing other things, then I'll cheerfully give you your money back. More than happy to do so. But I believe in it this much, and you this much, and the product this much, that you will hit your best month, full stop. You will do it. So this is a 90-day program. But if you haven't hit it, and you can honestly tell me that you've tried everything, and you've implemented, or that life got in the way, problem with kids or health, or something just came up and you couldn't take part in the challenge in the program, we will commit to working with you until you do. We'll commit to working with you until you do. So you absolutely cannot get this wrong in any way, shape, or form. You either have your best month ever, or you do have your best month ever. That's it. And if you think I've lied or cheated or done something out of the realm of what's fair in selling you into this program, and the second week you still think, no, Paul, this is not for me, please just email my office and you'll have a no quibbles, full money back guarantee to fall back on. So when do we start? Who's excited? Who is excited? Who want to type into the chat? Type into the Q&A if you're excited and you want to take part in this with me. The Best Month Ever program, the live class starts Tuesday, the 11th of February, and we are ecstatic ecstatic to get this moving for you and working. It's limited to just 20 people. It's for 20 people. So I've got today's, you guys get it first, so well done. 93 of you get the first option to join. And then obviously I've got the training again tomorrow. So we're pretty certain that we're going to close the doors on this tomorrow around about 3 o'clock. So it's limited to just 20 people. Travis says, let's go. I love it. John, I'll talk to you about that in just a moment. Module 1, so this is what it's including. How to keep your schedule full. We'll do that one immediately. Remember I said to you, the number one thing that you've got to focus on is keeping your schedule full. I'll work with you for around about 90 minutes to 2 hours and all of the different methods, strategies, ways that we can keep your schedule full, implementing a full and robust package and program methodology into your business to be like that dentist where nobody ever leaves your care, if you like. And I've designed all of the first 3 modules. We'll have done them by the end of February. You do what I tell you to do. I mean that politely. By the end of February, there's no cash flow issues in this business. None. And I'm going to stare at every single one of you. And if I could hold you right now, I'm staring at you. If you do what I tell you to do in the first 3 modules, not one of you has a cash flow issue by the end of February. And I'm going to say it again. Not one of you has a cash flow issue if you do what I tell you to do by the end of February. You can have all the excuses in the world right now, but that cash flow problem, if you don't move forward with this type of thing, will still be there in March. You do what I tell you to do in Module 1, and then you do what I tell you to do in Module 2, you will not have profit problems by the end of February. Before you've even made your second payment in the program, we're in clear air, we're in daylight, we're in oxygen. This is being designed with that in mind. So module 2 is about pricing for profits. It's going to be what we call your pricing breakthrough. Module 3, getting to yes fast. If you're struggling right now with handling those cash pay objections, I'm going to cover that in module 3. So those 3 modules there all happen in February. We will make immediate changes to your business. Like literally on the Wednesday, you'll know how to implement packages. On the Wednesday, ideally the Tuesday night, you'll be charging a lot more than you are right now, but we'll do it appropriately, we'll do it fairly, and we'll do it respectfully, and we'll do it in a way that doesn't give you a heart attack, because I get it, but we have to do it, and we will do it together. We're going to be in a group, we're all going to have some fun doing this together, safety in numbers. And then on the 3rd call in February, it's getting to yes fast. How to handle those objections. Remember, we just need to go from 2 inquiries who say no right now and get one of them to say yes, and you're putting an extra $77,000 in the bank. Mike asks, how do we sign up? I'm going to give it to you in just a moment. Let me just make sure it's right for you. I'm going to talk it through. Free leads and 10x referrals. So this happens in March. This is where I'll bring out all of the referral packs. I'll give you all of the templates. And what we'll do is we'll find a cheat code for you to copy my templates. It's called AI. for full disclosure, it's called AI. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you all of my templates, and we're going to do it on the call together. And I'm going to give you everything that I've wrote for my business, and we're going to open up a thing called ChatGPT, and on the call, you're going to create your own referral documents that will happen, and they'll be transformed from Paul's documents to Mike's documents, or to Sam's documents, or to Michelle's documents, or whoever's documents. Everything's going to happen fast in this program. And like I said, I've spent years doing this and narrowed it down. I've never been more excited about the program to share with you. So module 4 is about getting those referral packs for you to start giving out to patients to boost your referrals. Module 5 is your social media breakthrough. I will spend the whole session breaking down the entire script to sell by chat. We'll do it together. I'm going to even get you to bring me your examples of chats that are happening in your world, and we're going to do it live on the call together. That's how cool this is going to be. If you can get me a few posts with a little bit of a follower, or somebody just liking a quote, or a share, or whatever it is, we will use your example live on the call right there and then to get the sell by chat framework into your business, so that night you start to get patients. This is why I'm limiting it, because I'm going to give you a lot of attention, and there's going to be a lot of implementation on the calls. So the social media breakthrough is how do we implement sell by chat into your business as part of the program. Module 6 for you guys in Camp 2, 24/7 leads, Facebook and Instagram success is going to happen March the 18th. Who is Sarah, by the way? Sarah, you might want to give a little wave. If any of you signed up on Facebook ads, which I know at least 35% of you did, Sarah's the genius who does that. She's my Facebook gal. So any of you who see my Facebook ads, I have a very unfair advantage in a gal called Sarah, who is one of the best Facebook strategists, meta strategists anywhere in the world. She works with me and my team. So she's going to teach you how to do that. And again, it will involve setting up ads live on the call so that you can run these things for yourself after the ad, if that's what you wish to do. Module 7, people are asking, what can I sell? What products? I've built a very, very big network of partners. From Stimpod to people who sell Shockwave, who are selling orthotics. We've built a partnership, a network that our top clients are using to sell cash pay and wellness products. I'm going to bring every single one of them onto this call, and I'm going to tell you how to sell everything that they tell you that they can offer you. And I'm going to give you exact examples of what people buy and what people are selling these products for. And I'm even going to bring on some of the clients that are selling these products to tell you how they are selling these things in their business. So this is that additional product track that we need to bring into your business. So there will be a panel of trusted providers, and there will be a panel of other therapists that I've worked with for years who are selling said products from trusted providers. They will tell you how to sell it, how to get your physios to sell it, what price to sell it at, and how to market it in your business. That's going to happen module 7. Module 8 is your Google and online breakthrough. So we'll go deep into things like SEO, into getting more reviews. We'll look at Google Ads, and we'll look at how we can get you an audit to find out exactly where you are and what is called your profitability potential. So module 8, that's a Camp 2 guys must. It's a Camp 1 for the basics and the foundations. And if you hadn't heard of Apple Pay or Apple Business or Google My Business or any of these things, all of those things will be mastered on module 8. And then in module 9, I can see people asking about the workshops. I'm going to share with you how to make big bucks from small group events. I'll teach you how to sell at small group events. I reckon we made over $1 million for clients in the last 4 months of last year. $1 million from workshops. In my marketing agency, it's the primary thing that we provide for clients. So I have a few insights into what works and what doesn't. So I'll give you the big bucks from small group workshop events that's happening on April the 8th. And then in the end, in the final session, module 10, I'm going to bring out the secrets of the $1 million cash practice owners. So some of those guys that you saw in that picture, I'm going to invite them onto the panel. It could be Alison or Carrie, it could be Kevin or Justin, Jason, whoever was on that picture. I'm going to bring out a cash practice owner panel, and they're going to share with you what they did to really encourage you to start thinking about this $1 million cash practice of yours. But it gets better. It gets better. I've thought long and hard about this program, as you can see. Your subscription also includes an invite to the in-person 2-day mastermind in Orlando. So 20 of you, when you've had your best month ever, are going to come to my office in Orlando. And I'm going to work with you personally on building your dream practice. And that's going to happen April the 30th and the 1st of May. By then, we'll have all achieved our best month ever. And that gets you your ticket to the mastermind. Now, by the way, this is where it gets fun. If you don't achieve your best month ever and you aren't playing ball and you're not part of the program, you don't get the invite. You get the ticket when you've proudly shouted that you have smashed your best month ever, and you get to come to my brand new office in Orlando, and I will work with you on building your dream practice. And we'll start looking more strategically at your business model and what you need to do to grow it so that you can scale it to a very profitable business. So it's a live weekly coaching program, but it also includes a 2-day in-person meeting with me at my brand new office, PhysioFunnels headquarters here in Orlando. I have a beautiful school that I built that you can come to, and I'll work with you personally on those 2 days. That's where you're going to be. There's a bigger table actually now. I've invested in a much bigger table for you. That was day 2 in the new office. It's going to look cool by the time you get here. So you'll be invited to that as well as part of the program. A couple of free bonuses I'm going to give you just to make sure that you really love your experience and get value from it. You'll also get part of my mastermind program every week for 12 weeks. So every Wednesday at 12 o'clock, you'll get on other calls with guys who are in the program, the people that you were looking at there. And I'll also give you 2 free tickets to my big event. It's called PPM Live. You may have seen it. That's the one that's had 1,000+ people go through it. It happens in London in June, and it happens in Orlando in October. I've had people like Marcus Lemonis, Damon John, Kevin O'Leary, Dan Kennedy at my events. I've had some of the biggest names in business and sport at my events. Tickets go on sale for $997. You will get 2 free ones as part of this. I want you in my community. I have such a cool community. It's above average levels of success. I appreciate there's other stuff going on out there, but this community is different. It's special, and there are above average levels of success happening. And I want you to come and feel it and be part of it with me. So you'll get 2 tickets. You can choose London or you can choose Orlando in October. This year's is a Ghostbusters themed event, and the title is, are you ready for this? Insurance Busters. Insurance Busters. Last year we did Back to the Profits, so we like to have some fun at these events. And if you enroll while I'm on the webinar, I'll set up your first Facebook ads for you as well. So we'll do the module with Sarah so you know how to do it. But then what we promise you as well is we'll actually set up your first Facebook ad for you. So my team will go in, they'll do all of the cool stuff, and they'll get everything set up for you as well. So that's $1,500 if you asked us to do it. So I'll throw that in for you. We'll basically set the ads up and get you moving. Or if you choose, we could set up a very sort of first Google Ads account for you, a campaign to get some clicks for knee pain or for back pain or whatever it is that you do. So you can choose Facebook or you can choose Google Ads. We'll teach you how to do it, but then we'll do it for you as well. And I think this is the bit you'll love. So we talked about grow from social and sell from social. I'm also going to give you a Dropbox link full of pre-written social media content, emails, and Google My Business posts. We provide this every month to our clients. So every 30 days, clients in my agency get this. So I'm just going to give you this month. In fact, if you ask me really nice, I'll give you 2 months. In fact, if you ask me very, very nicely, I'll give you one for every month that you're in the program. So I'll give you every month for the next 3 months, 30 days of social media posts. We give it to you in a way that all you have to do is put your logo in and your telephone number. We write the descriptions, and we give you access to the software that we use that you can just alter it for your branding, whether it's purple or whatever. So I'll give you all of that as well. I want you to win, and I want this to be the start of an amazing part between me and you and your business, so that me and you can go on a journey together. I know how to do this, and I know that you want to do this. Let's just make the exchange today, and let's get on with it. Make the commitment together, and we'll move. So we'll give you the content, and the reason I'm going to give you the content very quickly, you'll get it this week. You can start posting on Instagram and the DM and all that stuff. And by the time we come to the DM section, you'll have new followers and new people liking you, and we'll have new patients for you in the business. The only thing I ask, enroll while I'm on the webinar. Let's see if we can get this filled up today. And do you know what? If I was to fill this up today, I could just send a replay out to everybody tomorrow, and I can have the Sunday off with my kids and go to Disney. No, I wouldn't do that. And if you enroll in the next 5 minutes before I leave on the webinar, so I am going to be moving in the next 5 minutes, you can knock off the final payment and save an additional $550. So that's a price drop. That means that you can now enroll for 3 payments of $997 or 1 payment of $2750. So it's not 4 payments of $850. What I'm going to do is give it to you for 3 payments of $997 or 1 payment of $2750. The only thing I ask, you enroll while I'm still on the webinar to get those extra bonuses. They're not going to be, very unlikely they're going to be available tomorrow because I'm giving them away today. So here it is. Who wants it? Head over to the page, yourbestmonthever.com. If somebody could put that into the Q&A for everybody, please, so that they can see it. But it's yourbestmonthever.com. If you need it, just reply to an email and we can send you the link. So if you are, and we can't get it into the chat for you today, but it's in the Q&A, I'm sure we can put it in there for you. You need to head over now to yourbestmonthever.com. You can enroll there. If there is a problem, don't panic, because everybody rushes to the page. And if you're having any problems with your credit card or anything like that, again, just call the bank. Just tell us that you're trying to enroll. We can see it, and we'll honor everything for you today. So if you're trying to enroll now, sometimes it crashes. There's lots of people who go to the page. Everybody calm down. We'll make sure that we get you in. Just send an email to my team. They're there, or you can talk to Cam or Barry or anybody that's on the if you're in a WhatsApp with them or anything like that. Choose your payment plan. Get your confirmation email and join the school. So the page after you enroll, you'll see an invite to join my school. And in there, I want you to tell me what your best month ever looks like. It's an online community that we've created for you. Tell me what your best month ever looks like. I want you to start there. And we will call you this week. We'll ask you what your best month ever currently looks like and what your new best month needs to look like. So we have genuine accountability in this program, and we're gonna drag it. We're gonna drag you into in the world. So Mike, I've just answered it in the chat there for you. If my team could just send everybody the link, yourbestmonthever.com. That's where you need to be. School is the place to be after that, and we'll start talking to you, and you can tell us what your best month ever looks like. You've watched the presentation. You want to make this a great year. I've no doubt you want to make this year your best year ever. You've not been able to do it on your own, and that's what I would encourage you to think about if you are even considering not moving forward with us, but you really want the extra 3, 4, 5 grand, or you really want to scale to $1 million. You haven't been able to do it on your own. It's costing you more not to do it. Every month that goes by, it's costing you more than my fees. This is the right decision for you to make. Mike has signed up already. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. John says, does this include workshop help, or is that additional? John, we will show you how to do it. And in that module, I'll train you how to do it. And I'll give you templates that you will need. So we won't run it for you in that module, but I'll absolutely give you templates, emails, frameworks, things like that for you to go make a success of it. Yes. Can you go over the school thing again? Basically, Danelle, that's the community that I've created. Once you are enrolled in the program, head into school. You'll get a link to it. And then just tell me what your current best month ever looks like. Just go in and say, my current best month ever looks like this. And that's just a benchmark for us to know what Danelle needs and where she is and where she wants to get to. That's what it means. Michelle says also, it's a night before training. Is it possible replay so I could watch chunks? The training will be replayed on the live modules in the program. Yes, Michelle. So if it's 6 o'clock in England or wherever you are, you'll get the replay for that. Absolutely, yes. It'll all be put into a membership site inside of school, and you'll get access to it forever. And anytime we update it or there's new things go inside of the program, you'll get it for life. This is the sort of the early entry level price. Expect this to be $5,000 the next time I do it. So if you're genuinely on the fence and you're thinking, shall I, Shana, just consider that you've not been able to do it on your own so far, and it's your chance to get it right. It's about getting fast results. So it's very different from the Physio Funnels program. The Physio Funnels program is a marketing platform. It's the automation, it's software, it's done for you social media, it's a new website, and it's the funnels that you need to grow your business. That's an exclusive marketing done for you platform. This is the coaching and training to find profit in your business. They are very different. Marketing often is about leads. For most of you, this is going to be about finding additional profit in the business. I'm going to ask you to remember this. Why did you start the business in the first place? Remember all of the people who doubted you. Everybody who said that you shouldn't do it, that you couldn't do it. I know some of you have got husbands who said you shouldn't do this. I know some of you have got kids who said, why are you starting a business at your age? I know some of you have got wives or partners who said that this isn't the right thing, who are still giving you criticism, hassle, and trouble right now because you haven't been able to make it work. You promised them that you'd make it work, but we haven't been able to do that to this point. These people still doubt you. You've probably got parents, most likely, who doubted you, who said, and are you ready? Not to do it. Who said, get a real job. All of these people, think about them. They're still chirping away at you. They're there. They've doubted you. It's time to prove them wrong. If you started this to allow your spouse to quit work, let's go. I've seen people typing this into the chat that I want my spouse to quit work. Let's fucking go and do the thing. We could probably replace your spouse's salary by the end of February, within reason, assuming she's not a space scientist, right? Or he. But the reality is we can probably go some way, shape to replacing your spouse's salary. If you started your business to get home to see your kids at soccer, let's fucking go. These are the things that we're going to work toward with you. You will never achieve your dream if you don't beat your best month. It's a simple metric, and that's why we've created a program around it. You can feel successful. You can see improvements month on month, realistic things that we can achieve and do for your business every month to increase the money that you're making every month to allow you to achieve your goal. We can absolutely do it together. Head to the page, yourbestmonthever.com. Feel safe in your decision, knowing that you're backed by my guarantee. Remember, there is 2 guarantees. One is a money-back guarantee. I believe in it so much that I'm guaranteeing your success. you love the program and you stay and you hit your best month ever. And if that doesn't happen because life gets in the way, I appreciate there's parents on here with kids and young babies and stuff goes on. We want to try and do it in 90 days. But if something came up, my team would work with you to make sure that that happens. And we want an above average level of success, an outrageous level of success happening in this new program. So you're backed by 2 guarantees, 2 weeks to decide, meaning you can enroll now. And if life gets in the way during the 90 days, we'll work with you until you hit it. That's what we're going to do. We want you to win. I know how to make it possible for you to win. And if you want to win as much as I want you to win, there's not one person on here that this makes sense for not to do this. The first 3 modules are designed to make sure that you are profitable by the end of February. And I am looking at you in the camera again. I'm looking at you, Michelle and Sue and Mike and Danelle and Marjorie and Travis and Anonymous and another Anonymous and Esther and James and who else? Sue, Travis again, I can see there, and Sam and another Anonymous and an iPhone and a Beth and a Tim, David. I'm staring at all of you now. If you do what I tell you to do, and please don't take that like I'm a school teacher, if you just do what I tell you to do, you will make significantly more money by the end of February. The things that we're going to do and the way I've designed the program is that you will take action that night. You will be raising prices that night. You'll be changing the way you sell packages the next day. You'll have a provider panel. For some of you, all you need is to know how to sell Shockwave or Stimpod or the multiple other things that people are buying right now in our community or using in our community that their patients are buying. It makes no sense for any of you to leave this program for another month or 2 months or 3 months. No matter how busy you are, it makes 0 sense. None. It's nuts. It's insane for you not to do this now, like now. So whole thing's designed with you in mind, fast action. We want you to win. There's a cohort of 20 and it will result in you together going through the program and being at my office end of April, early May, and I get to work with you on your best year ever and building the business of your dreams. It's a cliche. It's easy for me to say it, but here's what I can say as I stare at you down this camera. There are lots of coaches out there. Many of them decide to get into the coaching business because they couldn't make their own businesses work. There's probably some on this webinar copying me as they usually do. Many people will promise you that they're going to do this and they're going to do that and they're going to do the other. And they have no clue how to do it themselves. They've got no track record. They've got no success stories. I've got 1,000+ people in my programs, 1,000+. There was over 1,000 people at my seminars around the world last year. I've done it for myself and I've done it for many others. I've shown you $9 million cash practices sat around one table, and every single one of them have one thing in common. Me. If you're serious, I'm the guy. If you're not, I'm not your guy. But if you're serious and you want to change your circumstances, you want to change your life, you want to provide more for your spouse, you want to prove your parents wrong, you want to be available for your kids, you want to finally scale that business, you need a little bit of extra profit to bring in another provider, you've been stuck for 2 years, you've treaded water, you're sick of going home every month, wondering why it's not happening for you, wondering why the credit card still can't be paid, wondering why everybody else is making money and you're not. This is absolutely for you. Do it. Questions, I'm open to answering them for you. I'm going to go in about 2 minutes. So everything I've promised is available while I'm still live. You probably aren't going to achieve your dream during what you're doing now. Like, I don't care what excuse you've got or how busy you are. Something's getting in the way of you achieving your dream. Something's getting in the way. Let's change that. You're going to have to do something different. Why not try this? There's a million reasons to say no. I get that. But that won't change your predicament. The problem will still be there that you aren't priced properly. You don't know how to get leads. You don't know how to use social media. You don't know what other products to sell. You don't know how to use Google or Facebook or the internet or any of these other things that, if you did them right, would increase the likelihood of your success and you making more money. Do this now and let's go. I'll be polite. Let's go. Type into the chat when you've done it. Let's go. Send me an email. Reply to the email when you get your, this is what I'd love you to do, when you get your confirmation that you're in the program. Reply to the email and just say, Paul, I'm ready. Let's fucking go. And capital letters for fucking, let's do it. I'm going to share with you this as well. I'm going to show you this. Answer any questions as well while I'm here. Happy to. Logistically, yes, replays, membership sites, all of that type of stuff. Cohort of 20, you get to know each other. Culminates in you being here in my office for 2 days. I'm going to hold your hand all the way through on this. 10 years of doing this. Danelle is on here. I think, Danelle, you were one of my first Accelerate students, however many years ago. I'm still around, and I'm still doing it, and I'm still working with clients from all over the world. The business is bigger than ever. We've got easily one of the biggest and most successful coaching programs anywhere in the world when it comes to marketing success for physical therapists. I took all of that and I put it into one course and one program for you. Your best month ever. I'm going to share with you some stories. So for those of you who are still on the fence, how many have I got? I've still got 18 plus, right? Adding it, no, right? Let's have a look. Let me show you this. How many? Let me take that back. Just stay there. Right. Oh, I'm going to show you this. So these are in my office. This is Alison, right? In my office, we have this thing called the Paul of Fame. And we highlight so that my staff can see what they do for a living. They don't do Google ads. They don't do Facebook ads. They make this lady smile. Alison said, quote, I just keep making more and more money and helping more and more people. Alison is on the Paul of Fame. Jason Han is on the Paul of Fame. From struggling clinic to profitable 7-figure business. That's Jason. You did see Jason. He's somebody else you didn't see. This is Derek. From years of struggle to finally achieving what I want in business and life. $2 million cash practice in New Orleans. There's another one. Derek's been around my table for the last 3 or 4 years. Let me show you another one. This is Michael Chin from California. From corporate job to 7-figure cash pay practice owner in under 4 years. He has me in common as well. I'm going to have to brag. And he'll tell you this. I've given him the marketing know-how and the strategies to go make a 7-figure business from a corporate job. Another one that sits on my pole. You ready for some more? Susanna in Alaska. 3-month vacation and revenue has gone through the roof. We put all of these systems into Susanna's business. She now has PTs and she's basically does one around the world whenever she wants, and the business continues to make money. These results they're not normal, right? You know, the coaching companies, they're not normal. They're normal in my world. And there's Chris, he's on my wall as well. From solo PT to 17-strong team and still more time with family. These things sit proudly in my office. This is how proud I am of the results that me and my team get for our clients. It's been going on for years. It's up to you what you want to do next. But I know that nothing will change for any of you if we don't move forward together. So that's my last little thing for you. Does your system work for a solo provider? Sue, this is for you. You're in camp 1. You're in camp 1, Sue. This is where we start. You're my favorite. Let's go. Let's go. What percentage of your PTs that work with you get to $1 million? Good question. Depends on what level they're at with me. I've probably got, at any one time right now, 30 plus $1 million program, $1 million businesses in my mastermind community, which has got about 120. So about 25% right now at $1 million. And most of them from scratch. Most of them from scratch. I've got some of them 3.5. What else can I do to help you? Anywhere between solo and on the way, basically. They're all on their way. They're all on the journey. 750 grand is where it starts to get funky, and it needs a little bit of a tweak to the business model again at that point. But you usually find somebody that's 0 trying to get to 20 grand, then 20 grand a month trying to get to $1 million. It gets really funky around about 750, and that's where they usually really need some good culture hiring advice. But marketing and profit has to drive that. Any questions? Anybody else? I've got 2 more minutes. What time is it now? I haven't even looked at the time today. It is 20 to 3. Well done, by the way, for everybody who's still on right now. I think it's phenomenal. I'm going to go in a moment. So if there's no more questions, if you want the bonuses and you want everything that I've got, please head over to yourbestmonthever.com. We'll work with you. Nothing will change if you don't do this. This is the program you've probably been waiting for. I know that by the end of February, you'll be happy. You'll be happy by the end of February. Just do what I tell you to do in the first 3 modules, and you will be very happy. There'll be clear air. There'll be more money than month, rather than more month than money. We won't be worrying about the month ending on the 30th, that's for sure. So, right, I'm going to go. I'll give you a little countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Head over to the page. If you're trying to enroll, thank you. If you have enrolled, thank you. You're amazing. Wonderful, wonderful. Stan will be on the it's good to see you there, Stan, as well. If you have enrolled, I cannot wait to see you. If you haven't, give it some very careful consideration in the next hour or two. This will be full by 3 o'clock tomorrow. So at the very least, sleep on it tonight and make a decision. I can't give you the bonuses today, though, unless you do it right now. So if you want the best price with the best bonuses, do it now. After that, you can enroll, but it'll be the normal price and without the bonuses. So thank you. Have a wonderful day. I hope I've shared with you some wonderful insights into what it's like to run a really successful business, make lots of money, have lots of fun in life, and some strategies and tactics to get you there. So we're here. All we need is for you to say yes to getting rich. See you soon. You want to switch that off, Lewis?